pull up a chair. This is Off the Back Porch. Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer is brought to you in part by Country Village Sporting Goods. Everything you need to get in the woods, the water, or to the camp is at Country Village Sporting Goods. Jason Hardy State Farm. Like a good neighbor, Jason Hardy at State Farm is there. And Larry's Pizza in El Dorado, home of the Double Pizza Parade.
20 plus years of bringing you the most important and latest information with local happenings, news, sports, opinions, and probably an attempt at humor. Also brought to you in part by Davis Farms Country Market. For farm to table fresh, it's Davis Farms Country Market. Cook's Body Shop. Chances are it will happen. And when it does, look to Cook's. Murphy Arts District. For the latest information on concerts and events, go to eldomad.com.
Recorded live from Main Street Pizza in historic, beautiful downtown El Dorado, Arkansas. With a history of being the voices you trust. This is Off the Back Porch with Boomer and Sandy. Or Sandy and Boomer. Or two old guys you've known for a long time, whatever. And now your hosts, Troy, Boomer, Barrios, and B.A. Sandy Sanford.
Hey, thank you, Johnny Dean, and welcome to another edition of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. And Boomer, I don't know, but Johnny seems to be willing to forgive you.
Now that I've mentioned his name several times.
Now, if you can just seem to remember his name.
Yeah, no, I always knew his name. I was just, admiring the volume of his voice.
Yeah, well, he's definitely got that.
You know, to be able to make a living with just the way you sound. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure he's got plenty of get up and go with him too.
Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer.
Yeah,
not even close.
That's not even close. His is just bam out there.
Yeah, he and Chad Whitaker. You know, Chad's the other voice that you hear. And Chad has that voice all the time. Well, hello, Sadie. It's good to speak with you again.
You know who else I think has a really good voice is Wayne Gibson. His just this deep bellowing voice.
Yes,
from here, Wayne.
Yeah,
Gibson.
locally, Wayne.
Yeah. I think
Wayne's got a great voice.
It's gravelly, but he's got
some punch to it, I guess.
You did the cojones sign.
He's got some cojones. So. Yeah, I'm over here trying not to sound like Peter Brady on that one episode of the Brady Bunch. See, you know the episode I'm talking about. He has no clue whatsoever.
He doesn't know what the Brady Bunch is hardly, probably.
Wasn't that a bunch of them?
Except we lived.
Y'all lived it.
Maybe I do need to watch it.
Yeah.
MARSHA.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that's one. Anyway, so hey, welcome to our special guest this week,
Jax
Sanford, who has come in to sit in with us this week, and thank you for coming in.
I'm still under the sentiment that we should change the name to Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer, and sometimes Jax. But again, that's up to y'all.
That's plausible. Probably won't happen.
No, it won't happen. It's a great idea, but it's not going to happen. You know.
But no, I really do enjoy getting to come and be the guest on the podcast, and I know that y'all's viewership gets to go up just a little bit.
Well, for the ladies, evidently.
For the ladies,
yeah, for the cheering.
But
because Superman
loved the cheering.
I know what y'all are talking about because I'm in the know, and I've heard y'all do that exact thing a million times.
Well, we're stuck in the past.
I wonder how lost the people are when they hear y'all do that for the millionth time.
Well, we've explained it, but I will explain it again. Boomer and I, for years, we did play-by-play, if you will, of the El Dorado Christmas Parade, and
on the radio at
first. On the radio, that's right. But your church would show up and film it, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Emmanuel, when they had the ministry of the film ministry, film ministry. Yeah, they'd come up and show it on their channel.
That kind of sounds like Miss Mercille's pastor when he got caught with them movies. That was his film ministry.
So we had a whole 3-ring binder of all, and it was a description of every entry, but it was it's what they filled out. It was their entry form, and you know this. I'm looking at you. So we get to it's car division, and we've got a long Cadillac, and it just said Superman.
He had a Superman logo on the back windshield
and
on the back glass.
And it said, Superman loved the children.
Cheering.
And
he had an arrow written to it, and it said, say it just this way. Did he not?
Yes.
Say it just this way. So when we got down to it, up next is entry number 52, Superman. Boomer, evidently, Superman loved the cheering.
And I look over there at it, and I'm biting my lip. I got blood trickling down the corner of my mouth. So we won't do what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Because we're on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, we just about lost it.
We got regulations and stuff.
We're not trying to disparage anybody, but that's what the dude wrote.
That's what he wrote. That's right. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome along, Jax. Thank you for coming in with us. By the way, here we are at Main Street Pizza, and you know what I got today?
You got the Reuben.
I got that Reuben sandwich. I got that. My name is Reuben.
It's another story.
I know.
We like selling that one.
They know that one too.
I know that because I've been here for when y'all told the Reuben story. I think it might have been 2 times ago.
I was glad when Steve Harrell came in because he told the Reuben story, and I was like, "Does it differ from how I've told it at all?" No. Yeah.
So that night I had to leave early. We did it on a weekend, and are we punched in?
I'm just looking here. There we go. Okay.
And
I hope your microphone's been picking up.
It's been picking up. That's the listening for if we had headsets on.
Okay.
And so I had to leave early. We did it on a Saturday night. Of course, by 9.
Oh, Boomer's in his gown.
I'm in my underwear, so I had to tell y'all, I got things to do. Don't remember what it was.
No,
I was pretty sick.
You had to go. You had choir practice because it was a Friday night.
Oh, it was Easter weekend. That's right. Yeah. Anyway, so they got to telling stories about me while I wasn't there.
Yeah. You had to know that was coming.
I mean,
yeah,
that's fair game, bro.
Yeah, that was fair game.
You let that happen.
I did let that happen, but I was living for the Lord.
Speaking of that, do you remember that time that Boomer?
No, we don't remember that time.
Oh, come on, Boomer! That one time at band camp?
No, I never went to band camp.
Choir camp. Now that's a whole different thing.
That's a whole other thing.
Hey, I've heard stories about choir camp.
Hey, graduates at North Carolina State University were left stunned after a commencement speaker announced he would personally cover their final year student loan debt during a graduation ceremony. The unexpected announcement came during the May 8th commencement at the university's Wilson College of Textiles, where donor and entrepreneur Anil Coker revealed that he and his wife Marilyn would pay off all education loans incurred by the graduates during the 2025-2026 academic year. The graduates erupt after donor wipes out their student debt. Videos from the ceremony spread online, showing students erupting into cheers and giving him a standing ovation after the announcement. He said, quote, "It is my privilege to announce today that in honor of my father, my wife Marilyn and I are providing a graduation gift to cover all of the final year education loans incurred by Wilson College graduates during the 25-26 academic year," he told the graduates during the speech. The university later confirmed it has now coordinated with its Office of Scholarships and Financial Aid to help facilitate the debt relief plan.
What a great thing to do.
So, you've seen The Office.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about when I say Scott's Tots?
No.
So, if you've watched The Office, Scott's Tots is probably one of the hardest episodes to watch because Michael Scott went to a kindergarten class and he promised that he would pay for them to go to college. Well, they're all seniors in high school, and Michael Scott is the manager of Dunder Mifflin Paper Company in Scranton. Just the Scranton branch at that.
Just the Scranton.
And he has to go tell these kids that he's not going to pay for their college. And that is probably, it's hard to watch, but it's also, really funny because Michael Scott just gets himself into the worst situations. Yeah. But it's hard to watch, really.
But he told them that he'd do it when they were in kindergarten, and so they lived under that assumption for 12 years, and then he breaks it to them live at graduation or close to
close to graduation, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so I hope this isn't a Scott's Tots situation.
That would be like Claiborne showing up saying, "Hey,
never mind,
just kidding."
No,
Never mind.
I ain't got $50 million.
I got mines.
That's
You
right.
got
I got
yours.
mines. I got out.
Yeah, that's right.
You did, and you have to go continuously. I understand.
You have 5 years from graduation.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah. So
So it worked for you, huh, brother?
for the most part,
Yeah.
I took a little hiatus from school, so I didn't get the El Dorado Promise the last couple of semesters of school,
Yeah.
but got it taken care of, got it knocked out. So
Cool.
yeah, and I've got a degree, and Murphy paid for the first 3 years of it, or the El Dorado Promise did, and
Murphy did.
yeah, Murphy did, and that's why I always tell people that nobody's a bigger proponent. Nobody wants to see Murphy succeed more than me, because they did pay for a good chunk of my degree. Anytime I go anywhere, really, I mean, I'm searching out to go to the nearest Murphy, even if it's out of the way.
Oh yeah, I do too.
So if I'm like this weekend when we head up to Tulsa, every time I need to stop for gas, I'm going to be looking for a Murphy, even if it's 10 miles out of the way. I'd rather go to Murphy than Quick Trip, because Quick Trip didn't pay for my college.
Hey, let me tell you who's happier than you for the Murphy Promise. You know who's happier than you?
Don't say him. Don't say him.
Why not?
Oh, cuz
Because
the little bit of student loans that were taken out are in
name. So be it.
So, but no, it's all.
It's all good.
You're right. He was a tremendous support during that time, and really encouraged me to go back after my hiatus.
Oh, I know he did, and you took one for the team, and I know that, and finished it up. But speaking of Murphy, let me tell you something that I encountered yesterday. It's okay.
Yeah,
You
go ahead.
all right?
No, I'm good. I'm listening.
You,
I'm listening.
he's letting us talk. At Murphy, filling up. I pull up, and there's yellow vests everywhere. I mean, they got stuff roped off, and there's 15 or 20 of them. And I mean, busy. They're doing stuff around the pumps and all that, and they're wiping them down and cleaning the little thing where your squeegee is and all that. And they've got yellow tape, taping off islands and stuff. Well, they pulling it off, and the guy waves me on up, and I pull up to the pump, and so they're through. They're through now. And they start dispersing, and I'm looking, and I watched one guy talking to another lady, and she takes her vest off, gets in her car, Kansas plates. He goes and gets in his car, takes his vest off, New York plates. Okay. So this is a contractor that obviously goes around and does stuff at Murphy USA pumps. And I don't know if they were tabulating or if they were, making sure they're all right or whatever. But all I saw him do was cleaning them. I said, I wish I had that job, traveling all over the country and cleaning pumps for Murphy.
I wonder if they put any paper in the receipt thing. That would be a big help to me.
See, I do upside. Y'all know what upside is? And so you got to take, I don't have anything associated with it. So I just take a picture of the receipt, and I got to have that receipt. Because I've made $37 now on 14 tanks of gas.
Hey,
it's $37 you didn't have.
I didn't have before. No, it's only on 4 tanks. Actually,
I'm about to start Upside. No, my.
Yeah, it is, and you can get food. I'm making a commercial for Upside now. You can do convenience store stuff, and of course now it gives you what's in your area, and you have to use that one. So anyway,
yeah,
make some money back.
So was there more on them paying?
He's paid it off. He's going to pay it?
No, that's it. He's going to pay it, and the university, they've already sent him the bill.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So, talking about going to a Murphy, when William C. Nolan Jr., when Bill Nolan was alive, one time Ken Sibley and I, we were going to Mountain Home, and we stopped at a Conoco there around Clinton. And Clinton. And Mr. Nolan drives by. I said, here it comes, Sibley. Whose phone's going to ring? It was Sib's. His phone rings. And he says, Sibley, I need you to understand something. He said, if y'all wouldn't have turned right there and got gas, y'all could have drove 32 more miles and made it to a Murphy USA.
He knows where they all are.
And he said,
they're tracked on his phone.
Bill, the 32 miles we'd had to stay on the interstate. Sibley, that's beside the point. You need to start finding Murphy USAs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you use an extra 3 gallons of gas to go get that Murphy.
You know, Martha will drive all the way across the state to get gas 4 cents cheaper. I said, baby, I don't do that. 4 cents on 30 gallons is only $1.20.
Yeah.
I need Murphy to get one on 167 somewhere around Sheridan, between Sheridan and Little Rock. I need a Murphy there because always stopping at the Circle K's
on each end of the
and
bypass.
They've got self checkout. I'm not a fan.
The first time I did self checkout was when I was on a trip up in St. Louis, and I'm looking at it like a calf looking at a new gate, and there's an attendant sitting there. He says, "Just set it all down right there." And it just knew what I wanted. It knew what it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I set a Coke down and some chips, and it read it and give it the total. You don't have to. It's not like you got to scan it or anything. Didn't it?
We went to.
Didn't it just know it?
Yeah.
We went to an Astros game, and you walk in this store there at Minute Maid Park, or whatever it's called now, and you just go in and you just get whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you scan your card before you walk in, and then you just walk out.
Yeah.
And I saw a bit on that recently, and they were, I think it was Key and Peele bit, but, somebody like you or me walks in, we just get a Coke and we get a bag of chips and we just walk out. And, of course, Key and Peele are African-American. They walk in, they're like...
They don't want to get shot.
I got this. And then one of them gets to the door and says, I just can't. He goes and puts it back. He's like, no, I don't trust it.
So when Amanda worked for Murphy USA, she told me they had or was it Walmart? One of them, that they originally started doing those stores where you just walk in and put it in your buggy and you walk out and it bills you.
That's Mark of the Beast. That's close to the Mark of the Beast, ain't it?
It's close.
Yeah, that's got to be close.
Yeah.
So I read a story. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I read a story this week about a lady who went to, I don't know, she got her a vest. Oh, she went to Salvation Army or what? What's the resale place?
Well, there's Goodwill. Yeah.
And got a Walmart vest, and then went to a Kiko's or whatever it was. They don't exist anymore. But made her a tag, like she was the self-checkout something or another. Gave herself a title, and she would come in and like go into the Walmart and be on the phone. And says, "Yeah, Phil, I'm trying to take care of that deal right now, and I'm in here checking it out." And she would go and get her, I don't know, a rump roast or something, and come and mark it down. And then she had bought all kind of stuff until the loss prevention guys came up and says, "Excuse me, man, what are you doing?" She says, she ran the story all the way to the end, and she had just bought all this stuff, and they showed how much she had gotten it for under like cents. Instead of $30 to $40, it'd be just pennies. But she ran this. She just came in walking fast and talking on the phone, and before they know it, she'd done self-checked out. I don't know how she had the codes, or if she told them to get the codes to reduce them. I don't know, but she did it somehow. Anyway. All you have to have is confidence. That was the confidence game.
We have a story very similar to that. A former Chick-fil-A worker in Texas is accused of trying to rake in the cheddar by ringing up 800 orders of mac and cheese, then refunding them to his personal credit cards. Keyshawn Jones, 23, allegedly pocketed more than $80,000 in the scheme in November, and it was all caught on surveillance video.
Wait a minute, all 1 month?
That's what it says.
Oh, that's a little too greedy.
Grapevine police say Jones evaded arrest multiple times before finally being apprehended on April 17th with assistance from the Texas Attorney General's Fugitive Task Force and the Fort Worth Police Department. He has been charged with property theft, money laundering, and evading arrest, police said. He is being held in the Tarrant County Jail. Detectives were alerted about the alleged theft on November 29th by the owner of the franchise, who directed them to the CCTV video that showed a man using a cash register to order $80,105 of comfort food, according to the Tarrant County records.
Now, that's just, you can't do $80,000 worth.
I mean, you can't even do $80 in one night.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, you can't. You're going to get caught.
That's an overtime thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
once a day.
Yeah.
$10 a day.
Yeah.
Just
one piece at a time. It didn't cost me a dime.
Yeah, that's right. So, hey, let's take a break. How about that?
All right, let's take a break.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
Hey, this is Chuck Barrett, and I'm excited to be coming to town on June 4th. I'll be there with Rex Nelson. We're going to talk about Calling the Hog, stories from the booth. It's going to be a great time. Seating's limited, so get your tickets now.
For one night, the voice of the Hogs steps out of the booth and onto the stage. Chuck Barrett has called some of the greatest moments in Arkansas sports. Now he's telling the stories behind them. Thursday, June 4th, inside the First Financial Music Hall at the Murphy Arts District, Chuck Barrett will give you a front row seat to the moments you thought you only heard on the radio. From game-winning calls to behind-the-scenes stories, this is Hog history told like you've never heard it before. Dinner will be provided by Madhouse 101. Seating will be limited, and you don't want to miss this one-of-a-kind event. Chuck Barrett and special Master of Ceremonies Rex Nelson give you an intimate look at the Hogs. The view from behind the mic. Tickets are available at eldomad.com. But hurry, there are a limited number of seats still remaining. But there are still unlimited stories to be told. Calling the Hogs with Chuck Barrett and Rex Nelson. Brought to you by SouthArkansasNow.com.
For longer than most of us can remember, Timber Lane Meat Market has been a staple of our community, where quality meats and friendly faces come standard. From everyday dinners to weekend cookouts, make it fresh, make it local, make it Timber Lane. Be sure to check out the daily lunch specials and like us on Facebook. Timber Lane Meat Market, 1336 West Hillsboro in El Dorado. Proud to be part of South Arkansas and even more proud to be displayed on your table.
When the long weeks, paychecks are cashed, where we gonna spend it, buddy? You ain't gotta ask. When the neon lights are kicking on, all of us are headed to a home away from home. We don't look like much, but we're pretty damn smart for some good old boys that can't pass the bar.
For 50 years, one name has kept South Arkansas rolling strong: Smackover Motors. From brand new rides to dependable pre-owned vehicles and hard-working fleets, Smackover Motors has helped generations find the perfect fit for the road ahead. And long after the sale, their expert service department keeps you moving with trusted care, honest work, and hometown service you can count on. 50 years of keys, miles, handshakes, and community. Smackover Motors, driven by service, powered by trust since 1976.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. And Boomer, I want to say, give a special shout out to one of our sponsors, and that is Smackover Motors. 50 years. You know, it's hard to do anything for 50 years.
Yeah.
But to do it as well as they do is what's amazing to me. And, you know, I think I've told you this. Back when you couldn't get when no dealer in the nation could get trucks, I was still seeing those transports pull up just slam full of trucks out of Smackover Motors. And I asked them one time, said, thought nobody could get trucks. Oh, no, we those are already sold. They were sold before they ever got there. Well, that made all the difference in the world.
Well, you know, Smackover at one time was a big town. And the people that are still in the oil industry probably use Langley exclusively.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they sell a lot of fleet vehicles.
They do.
And James Langley's a great guy. And
Big James on the bypass. Man, do I ever miss Bob Parks.
Yep.
Gosh.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, I stopped this morning at KZHE over in Magnolia.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Have you ever been in there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so, of course, it's very neat inside and very Americana, nostalgic. But guy said, man, do you know Will Vance? I said,
don't know.
I have no idea who that even is. No, never heard of him. And he laughed. He said, that's the same thing I say. He said, I ended up having to partner up with him at a golf tournament this last weekend. I said, well, I'll say this.
He does a play-by-play for Will does a pre-shot. He does a pre-shot analysis, and then he'll tell you what happened after he shot.
Why I didn't do what he said he was going to do. Will would never be any good as a psychic palm reader, right? Because what I meant to say was, because I told him, I said, you know, Will's the only person I've ever played with that'll stand there 200 yards out and say, Sandy, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this 4-iron. I'm going to put a little gay fade on it.
little gay
fade. That's what he say. Little gay fade, little gayness.
Yeah,
Let it drop
just a
in
little
there.
bit.
And it's going to roll about 4 foot from the cup.
Yeah, he'd hook the snatch out of it.
Yeah, I mean, he'd hook it, just back, look like an Australian boomerang. And he said, now let me tell you what happened there. No, Will, I don't need you to tell. I saw what happened.
So, did you know Steve Mahan?
Yes.
Steve's gone on. He passed a few years ago. And we had a Sunday afternoon game or a Saturday morning game with Steve and his daddy and a couple of other guys that are all, well, one's moved out of town and one of them's other one's passed. But the on the back nine at the lines, the one that's across the gully and is
number 12.
Number 12. So Steve's down there on the right in the gully on number 12.
Looking for a ball.
No, he found it. It's in the road. And he said, Troy, what do I need to hit here? I said, well, I said, maybe a 3/4 pitching wedge should get you up there. And he goes,
yeah, just get to the top.
He goes, what's that? I said, don't swing as hard. He goes, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I said, well, do you have something? Do you have another one bigger than a pitching wedge? I said, full swing. He said, well, I can get under it, I guess. And so he did. He got under it, and he dropped it out of space up on the green. But, I'd never heard anybody say, I don't have a 3/4 swing. He was going to John Daly everything he swung.
Weird. Kelly Gall had a 10 iron.
Yeah.
And I
never heard of a 10 iron.
Yeah, well, I had not either until I saw his.
Is that below a pitching wedge, or is it more shallow?
It's going to a much higher launch angle
than a pitching wedge,
than a 9, and probably higher than a pitching wedge. Maybe not. It's not like a 60 degree or something, but really high. Lots of backspin. Yeah. I mean, a ton of backspin. So Kelly could hit that thing about 90 yards and back it up 20.
So if he needed to punch it up there and let it fall in and come back.
Yeah, but that reminded me of Arnold Palmer. They were showing one time on the Golf Network, the Golf Channel, these old golf shows that I guess probably used to come on during the weekend when there wasn't any sports on, and it was playing lessons with Arnold Palmer, and he's out there with a group of guys, and he's like, okay, we're about 205 yards out. I'm going to use my 2 iron. He said, I hit it about 220. And so he hits it and then backs it up right up to the hole. And one of the guys said,
he got backspin on a 2 iron?
Yeah. He said, Mr. Palmer, can you teach me how to back up my 2 iron? He said, well, how far do you hit it? He said, about 180. He said, why the hell would you want to back it up?
Don't be backing that up.
Of course, that was also they showed a video of Chichi Rodriguez. And he walked out there with a 1 iron, and they said, Chichi, there's lightning flashing. He said, even God can't hit a 1 iron.
And they used to play those balata balls. Are you old enough to remember those balls with the real soft outside? You could put a big smiley face on them real easily.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and it was, you'd hit one time, and if you didn't hit it perfect, if you didn't get it all of it in, you cut that thing. And brother, they, at the time they were expensive for that day back in the 60s.
Probably 15 cents a piece.
I don't remember what they were. Daddy, I just signed that number at the country club.
That's right.
Well, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, I just give them the number.
Hey.
Yeah.
Coming from this guy.
Yeah.
So I would leave him and his brother at the pool, and I'd be playing there at the country club. And
you'd get a call from the credit card company.
Well, I'd get my bill,
shop.
and I'd be like, "What in the heck? Who ate 4 ice creams and 3 hamburgers?"
But they had that little cove thing over there.
But Cam told him one day. He said, "Daddy, Jax ain't eating all that. He's buying that for every little girl comes in." I said, "Every little girl comes in got a daddy. They got their own number."
Hey, let me get you my number here, baby.
They got their own number. That's Buddy Sanford's grandson right there.
Game is game. Even if it ain't your credit card, game is game.
You can't hate the game. That's funny.
Man, but Cam busted him out finally. He's like, "Daddy."
Per usual.
Yeah, Cam. Cam's gonna tell the truth. I told Sandy when y'all were little, Cam was still a little boy, and he came out when I'd cut the grass. He came out and he goes, "You missed one there, Mr. Boomer." And it was, sure enough, there was one sticking up. I said, "I'll come back and get it." He's down here measuring what I was cutting.
Cam.
That's Cam.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Hey, a new study suggests that a pint of beer contains surprisingly meaningful amounts of vitamin B6, and that an alcohol-free version may actually be one of the better options for getting it.
Huh.
Drinking a pint of beer can provide, quote, substantial levels, end quote, of the essential brain-boosting vitamin, according to new research published in the Journal of Agriculture and Food Chemistry. They analyzed 65 commercially available beers and discovered that vitamin B6 levels varied, but were consistently higher than taking supplements. Vitamin B6, which the body cannot produce on its own, is good for the brain, blood, immune system, and found in a wide variety of foods. One beer could meet up to 15% of your daily B6 requirements.
Did it say who wrote that article?
It probably
Paul
did.
Anheuser.
Yeah, it probably did. I don't
His
have
cousin,
it.
Morris Bush.
I ain't drinking. This is my supplement.
This is my
supplement.
I got to take my
Baby, I'm
supplements.
taking my supplements.
That's it. That's it. You've been drinking? No, I have some supplements.
I have some vitamin B supplements.
Yeah.
I take a B12 drop and just put 3 or 4 drops in your mouth, and it, you know, if you get that burp out of a B12 pill,
Oh yeah.
you know
That's like taking those fish pills.
it's-
Fish oil.
that's what this. I said, Martha, can't we just take a pill with a time release? She goes, these were better. I said, okay, it tastes nasty.
Yeah, that's the only thing is you end up getting the belches after some of that stuff, and you know, yeah.
Well, there's now
That dang
there's-
Dr. Volker had all of us down there belching fish all the time.
So there's things you have to take as you get older, and you have.
One is a little blue pill, and after about 15 or 20 minutes,
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
No, that's not coming at all. If you take a statin, it makes you have muscle cramps if you don't take CoQ10.
okay.
Okay, so I'll take CoQ10. And Martha says you need to start taking turmeric. You know, I said, well, you need to get off the internet.
Yeah.
And then I take some, I say gummies, and it's not the.
That's not the happy fun go lucky.
No, it's not pot gummies. It's melatonin or something. They're called sleepies or something like that. But I take 2 of them a night.
Well, if you take one of them other ones, you can sleep easy too.
Oh yeah. But you know you're getting high while you're doing it.
Not really.
You know, they have the
only if you take 2. Then you forget you have.
You know,
feet.
they also have the CBD, like CBD only.
Oil, yeah, I've taken
CBD
those.
only gummies, and
Yeah.
those are really good. And CBD is really good all around.
Yeah. Now I had a sample of a THC gummy. You know, when I was having real bad back pains, and I took it, and Marfro says, "Well, did you quit hurting?" I said, "No, I just don't care."
Yeah, I just didn't care. That's right.
I'm still hurting, but I'm just high now.
Yeah.
Because I'm a lightweight.
Yeah, well, I told this off the air, off the stream a couple weeks ago. Yeah, Jax gives us hell about that. But I'll tell it here. I had a friend who supplied me. I was having some really bad back pain. I had weed-eated my mother-in-law's pond.
Yeah.
And I couldn't move, and I was hurting. And I couldn't sleep. I couldn't lay. I couldn't sit. I couldn't stand. It was terrible. And this friend of mine said, "Hey, these are 8-to-1 CBD to THC. Take you one. It's going to ease that. If it's for localized pain, it's going to ease it." And you know what? Took it, slept like a baby. Just absolutely slept like a baby. A couple of years later, and had another issue, and I still had some of those, so I took 2. And I asked him, I said, "Do you think taking 2s to me?" He said, "Not if the first one only just made you sleep well." And I was like, "Okay." So I took 2, and I'm sitting there, and I'm fine. You know, I'm watching TV or watching TikTok on my phone or whatever I was doing. But at one point, I looked past my phone, and I was like, I kind of jumped, and Casey was like, "What?" And I said, "I forgot I have feet." She said, "You high as hell right now."
You high.
So, yeah, well.
Clary.
Yeah. Are you high, Clary? Matter of fact, Cam and I watched that last night.
Did you
Still
really?
Magnolias, yeah, we sure did.
You know, that's where Cam's got a dog named Weezer.
Oh, does he? How cool.
And that's where it came from, was Still Magnolias.
Still Magnolias.
Yeah. You know, we interviewed, I was telling Cam about it last night, you may remember, we interviewed the playwright who wrote that.
Where?
At the radio station.
Yeah.
And, you know,
No, I don't remember
it
that.
was about his sister, Shelby. And he, you know, I remember asking him some stuff, you know, about, you know, what was real and what wasn't. And he was like, well, you know, anytime so for example, Weezer is made up of about 3 different people. and I remember him telling us that the character Daryl Hannah played, Arlene, something like that. Like I said, watched it last night.
May or may not be married.
Married, yeah. So that was made up of about 5 different people. Said, but the fireworks in the tree, 100% real.
Really? That they were blowing up birds in the
getting
tree.
birds out of there, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And the dad getting mad at him at the Go Fish game. He's like, give me all your kidneys. That was real. So I just remember, but he was, it was fun, talking to him. He, and I remember asking him, I said, so I'm going to ask you the question you've probably been asked 1,000 times. Is there still Magnolias too? And he's like, no. I mean, not from me. He said, there is a group that wants to do one. And he said, I just have to be able to give them final approval over the script. He said, and what they showed me, no. He said, there was no way.
Let me give you a review of a movie that I saw last night. Have y'all seen Ballerina with Ana de Armas? Mm-mm. It's a shoot off of John Wick. Well, I won't tell you the story if you want to watch it.
Yeah,
I do want to watch it.
I guess it's on Netflix is where I saw it. Ballerina. Martha said
I've seen it advertised.
Yeah, I have too. Martha says, that's not her type movie.
Yeah.
Did you watch John Wick 3?
Yes.
Started killing him at the beginning and killed him to the end.
Uh-huh.
It was too much for me. 1 and 2 had a good plot. 2 you figured out because of 1, and the Continental and all that. You figured all that out. Well, all that's in this movie. Okay. So is Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
Real interesting. You'll love it. It's a good movie. But at one point, it's one of those big fight scenes, and Martha goes, how many is she going to kill? I went, all of them.
Until they all dead.
I'm not going to give it away for you.
Did you ever watch Kill Bill?
Yeah, I watched Kill Bill.
Yeah, that was another one. It was just like,
everybody's going to die.
Yeah, Tarantino, man.
Yeah.
That's just any Tarantino movie, you know.
Another good one, MIA, on not Paramount, but Peacock.
Okay.
MIA is a good movie. You need to watch that too. That's about drug running and retaliation.
Is that the one with Tom Cruise?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the name of that one with Cruise?
Because he's the one where Cruise is a pilot. And I don't know.
I know the one you're talking about.
I've just seen clips of it.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie.
True story, based on a true story.
Yeah.
The one with
and then I saw another Star Wars movie coming out in the theaters this month. Is it a remake or is it a new one or
It's like basically season 4 of Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember seeing it. The thing is I haven't kept up with Star Wars.
Yeah, I've kind of been out of it
a whole
too.
lot since Disney's taken it over. And when they made the first sequel movie, it was okay. Like, I thought it was actually a really good movie, and that it had a good direction. But then they changed directors for the last 2 of the sequels, and it was terrible. It was terrible, and that's the general consensus amongst the internet from what I've seen. And nobody wants it to be a good Star Wars movie more than me. I mean, I've got a Star Destroyer tattooed on my elbow, but. So I hope that they do this movie well. I guess I'll need to catch up on The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I've never watched any of it.
If I'm going to watch it, but I haven't seen too much about it though, so I don't know.
That was the first time I saw a clip of it.
You could be talking about math with letters in it, and I have the same amount of information. None.
The early Star Wars, when they came out, God, we thought, man, that's great animation on that. Until you go back and look at them, until you see what CGI does.
Remember
today.
what Clash of the Titans? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
We thought that was great.
Wonderful.
It was claymation. We didn't even realize it until you go back and watch it now.
So let me go back further. Bonanza. Man, I thought Bonanza was, man, they're on the Ponderosa out in the wild and all that. In the opening scene, they're all riding horses through the valleys and the hills. Most of it was on a sound stage.
Yeah.
When they'd run up to the corral at the house, that was all a sound stage.
Yep.
When your bubbles blown after you.
After you learn stuff like that. And Bonanza and Have Gun Will Travel.
Oh man, that's further back than Bonanza. Isn't it?
Yeah. The Rifleman.
I had heard of Bonanza. Now y'all are getting into like prehistoric.
Yeah. That was
How about Perry Mason?
Yeah.
So
Perry
The
Mason.
Ballad of Gilgamesh. I'm sorry.
No.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna see how far he can go back in.
That came
The
out
Sword
around
of the Lord and Gideon. How about that?
Ethiopian Bible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why does that keep jumping up in my?
Put it up.
I never clicked on that. I never liked it. I never let one play all the way through. But yet that keeps showing up on my.
There are only 3 angels named in the Bible.
Michael, Gabriel, and Lucifer.
That's it. Satan, Lucifer. That's the only 3 that are named. Well, where'd they come up with all these other names from all these other angels? How come Enoch knew all that?
Yeah.
It's just a little too far fetched, and anyway, I'll stop there.
Well, I would love to have a guest who has some take on that, but at the end of the day, I'm going to believe they're a heretic.
Are you sure you want to? I mean, what kind of characters are we getting here?
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe that guy that pointed a transistor radio at Sandy and said, "Stick him up."
Yeah, that guy.
In front of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. A father in Lancaster County was injured when he accidentally dropped a homemade pipe bomb he had made to entertain guests, state police said. Travis Peachy, 51, of Narvon, Pennsylvania, was arrested Saturday, the same day the explosive went off outside of his home. According to court documents, Pennsylvania State Police began investigating after Peachy arrived at the hospital with injuries stemming from a bomb explosion. He told troopers he had tried to assemble a pipe bomb because they were supposed to have guests over, and he thought it would be good entertainment. He assembled the pipe bomb.
Blow his guests up?
I guess. Using a PCV pipe filled with 6 ounces of black powder. Said he was using a motorcycle switch control as the detonation device.
Have y'all ever blown up a dryer?
No.
How do you do that?
I know you know how to make a sparkler bomb, though.
I do know how to make a sparkler bomb.
And you ain't ever used it to blow up a dryer? Oh, see, what you do is you take.
Hold on, don't do that. Don't do that. You'll get us banned from YouTube.
I was about to stop.
Yeah, you can't say some words or show.
But you throw a couple. You throw 2 or 3 of them at a time with their fuses lit into a dryer. And then close the door, and then you get behind something solid and far away, and boom goes the dryer.
I can't imagine a sparkler bomb being able to do that.
I mean,
they're loud. They're not.
It'll blow the door off. But no, I've actually seen people fill up dryers and refrigerators and stuff with tannerite.
Oh, now that's a whole different. You ain't got to fill it up.
No,
you could put some tannerite about this big. And blow up an entire neighborhood.
What is the chemical in tannerite?
I don't know. It's a good question.
You
Google that for us. Hey, Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. That's a Rogan reference.
Okay,
his assistant is Jamie.
Yeah,
and he's always like, "Hey, Jamie, pull up."
Tannerite is what they get beaver dams with all the time.
Yeah,
you'll see guys.
Yeah,
and they'll shoot it.
You seen that episode of Duck Dynasty?
Duck Dynasty, where they blew it up
with tannerite
and got stuff all over them. They was having fallout all over them.
But so I mean, I can understand make something go boom for the guest. I mean, everybody loves fire.
Blow them up.
I mean, no, I'm sure that wasn't his plan.
Well, if it's a pipe
we don't,
and you blow it up, there's shrapnel.
We don't get stories like this because they're smart people.
That's right. Excuse me. You're see,
bingo.
He'd got to
we
go
have
to
a winner.
The common denominator there. Whether it's Florida man or drunk high or crazy, drunk high or
stupid,
or any of these stories. That's the common denominator.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get these great stories because people were using their brains. They might have had a good idea, but they didn't think it through.
So what about the story of the people in North Little Rock that went to the restaurant and acted a fool? Have y'all watched that?
I saw that.
Did you see that story?
Yeah, they turned a nice Arthur's Steakhouse, I believe.
Yeah,
they turned it into a Waffle House.
Yeah,
I mean they just looking like the Waffle Inn when Boomer and I were there. All the screaming and hollering and throwing stuff. And
so what was the? I asked Marfro. I said, "What was the bottom line here?" She said, "I think they were just trying to get their bill comped." I don't know what it was. They, it came down to you just prejudiced.
Donnie, Donnie Clayton. He and I were talking one day here, getting ready to do the podcast, and he got called away, and he was over here talking. Now I'm not eavesdropping, but I couldn't help but overhear it.
Yeah.
And there's a guy, and he wants his pizza comped and all this. And finally, the guy leaves, and I said, "See, Donnie, all my friends tell me I should open a restaurant and sell barbecue." And I said, "This is why I can't, because I could never do what you just did right there."
He comped it.
I don't know. I don't remember now what he did.
He was calm.
But what he was calm when this guy wasn't. But here was the problem, the whole issue. Oh boy, and his lady order a pizza. They come here to get it. No, they came in and sat down to eat. The young lady who was their waitress was evidently his side piece. He didn't know that his wife knew about her, but when she became their waitress, wife then doesn't want the food. And then an argument ensues in there, and but you've ordered it, you got to pay for it. He's like, I ain't paying for it. Because we ain't eating it. We got to go. And I was just like, wow. And somehow Donnie has to eat the cost on that pizza because old boy brought his wife to where his girlfriend works. You ain't know where your girlfriend works? Let me just tell y'all something. If you're going to have a side girlfriend, the very first thing you do is find out where she works. Don't ever show up there with your wife to your girlfriend's job.
There's a trend on TikTok where, they find one of them, the wife or the husband finds their mate's Tinder
account,
and they start investigating and, catch them. Go back and hide in the house. He said, "I'll meet you there he's leaving at 10, come over at 11. Well, husband went back. Anyway, then there's some that the husband or the wife, the one wronged, will go to the husband or the wife of the other one that's cheating with them and said, "You don't know me, but so-and-so." And then they say, "Well, we just need to bust them out, you know?" Or they'll go to where they are right now. I said, "Oh, man, that's a dangerous game." Hey, it's kind of like cheaters.
That happened to a buddy of mine. Happened to a buddy of mine. His wife was going out of town for something, and he'd been home about 35, 40 minutes after she'd been gone. There's a knock at his door. And there's a woman standing at his door. She said, "You don't know me, but your wife and my husband right now are in a hotel in Nacogdoches, Texas." And he was like, okay. So they drove over there and busted them. And poor guy.
That's tough.
Yeah. And it was like, what do you do in that situation? I mean, there's the obvious pain and the hurt of the infidelity.
Infidelity, yeah.
But the embarrassment, because that story gets out. There's no way that story doesn't get out.
Yeah, if you live in East Texas.
Yeah, you live in rural anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to you and so and so?
I'll be praying about so and so.
Yeah. No. The prayer chain. Sandy, did you hear about Evelyn and Tom?
Yeah.
No, what? Well, Tom called Evelyn cheating on him. Said, "No, we need to pray for him."
Yeah.
And that's
not gossiping.
No, that's
prayer request. That's right, prayer chain. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So one dude, he gets she comes back to the house and he's standing there and he's cooking and he just busts her out and she says, she's pleading with him. He goes, "No," he says, you're mistaking my calmness for that. You think you're staying. He said, "But you need to pack your..."
I've seen that one.
He's just cooking.
Yeah. I have seen that one.
Yeah. And then another dude, it's those, and it's always a dude, because I'm a dude watching TikTok, so it's going on the dude story.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's scary. I don't know if I'd say, if they're going to do that, we'll let them go. But I'm out.
Hey, here's what I'm saying.
I don't know if I'd go interrupt.
If you have a girlfriend, never take your wife to where she works.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's just keep it that simple.
Don't have a girlfriend.
Well, you could do that too. But if you still refuse that and you're going to have one anyway, don't show up where she works.
Otherwise, you might wind up on an episode of Off the Back Porch.
With that dude's name.
With your real name.
Local man. Be in front of
5'1" woman beats 6'6" man because he took her where his girlfriend works.
Hey, now I ain't gonna do no names, but there's a story about that. That's a local story about wife went and beat the snot out of husband.
Oh, I know that story.
Yeah, we're not going to tell it by any means because everybody knows them. But
it for sure happened.
It for sure happened.
Yeah, because you could see him after that, and you're like, dude's big. Who was able to get in those punches? Mm-hmm. And then you find out
she climbed
it was his wife.
And why?
Yeah. So. All right, let's take a break.
Okay.
We'll come back, and we have some people needing advice, Boomer.
Okay.
And they need advice, and of course, where should they turn? Anywhere but us.
Sandy and Boomer.
But they don't. They come to us anyway.
Yeah. And sometimes Jax.
And sometimes Jax. Yeah. So we'll be back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
A new shipment of express boats is in at Country Village Sporting Goods. Or maybe your boat just needs a little TLC. We have appointments available in our service department. And of course, we keep a great selection of Catalina campers. New baits, new tackle, and the latest in gear are arriving every week. So when we say everything you need to get to the water, the woods, or the camp, you know we're talking about Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado. Like us on Facebook.
For over 6 decades, Glenn Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations, family-owned and operated since 1956. Glenn Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlennMechanical.com.
Serving South Arkansas for 25 years, and all the while expanding and growing throughout the state, ProMed Ambulance is proving their motto of world-class care and hometown values. For example, their new mobile integrated healthcare communication center. This state-of-the-art facility allows communication specialists to work directly with local 911 call centers to ensure the closest medical team is always dispatched to any emergency. World-class care and hometown values. For more information and career opportunities, go to ProMedAmbulance.com.
What if I get in a fender bender?
State Farm's there with the assist.
Jersey swap?
Jersey swap.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Oh, I'm feeling this.
I assisted with security things.
Swap.
I assisted with popcorn.
Swap.
Get that jersey.
Get your corn there.
Hey, I assisted myself by filing a claim on the State Farm app.
Swap.
In my halftime show, I had...
It's a great story.
We're done swapping. Too late, circus man.
State Farm with the assist.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy Boomer, and we've got JW over there. He's just shaking his head. He don't even know what to do with us anymore.
He's thinking, I'm glad I don't have to edit this.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's thinking, yeah. So, Boomer, we have people who mistakenly ask us for advice.
And that started, and I think it's caught on.
It's caught on, and I don't understand
why.
it.
Yeah.
I don't either. We got 2 of them today. Dear Sandy and Boomer, I need advice from 2 men who have clearly survived decades of bad decisions and lived a podcast about it.
Wow, that's a good way to start.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to really be interested in what you have to say.
My wife recently started getting into fitness. She joined the gym, bought one of those giant water bottles that looks like it should be emergency equipment, and now watches videos where people yell things like, "No excuses," while flipping tractor tires. Meanwhile, I pulled a hamstring last week putting on sweatpants.
Yeah, I got you.
Here's the problem. She wants us to work out together. I agreed because I love her, and apparently I have no survival instincts. Last night, she said we should start waking up at 5 a.m. to hold each other accountable. Sandy, Boomer, I don't even like being awake at 5 p.m. I tried one workout with her she called light cardio. I saw colors that are not in nature. At one point, I'm pretty sure I apologized to a houseplant. How How do I support my wife's healthy lifestyle without ending up folded like a lawn chair in a CrossFit parking lot? Signed, not fit, and please not to be tied.
Wow, that's. I believe you could be supportive of your wife and say, honey, this. Let this be your thing. We can do something together that we both like.
Well, here's the problem,
and I support you.
If you don't go with her, though, there's a guy down there willing to spot for her.
Well,
I'm just saying.
You put it that way.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, if you got to do the whole workout.
Yeah.
But maybe wouldn't hurt to be there. Wouldn't hurt to be there.
Well, hey, now if she gets up and takes a shower and fixes her hair and puts on her makeup, then go.
Then go to the gym. Yeah.
No, she pulls on some sweatpants and pulls her hair back in a clip.
Looks like she just got through ugly crying.
Yeah. Then let her say,
she's fine. Yeah.
Honey, you go get him, girl.
Make her a shake and send her out the door. Yeah. Jax, you are into fitness and also, what advice would you have for our viewer?
Man, I say ease into it. Make it apparent, like, hey, you're obviously further ahead than I am. So let's ease up on some of these workouts. Maybe just take it easy on yourself. Maybe just be there to push her along and to give her that motivation. And maybe you just do one set instead of all 5 that she's going to do, and just ease your way into it.
That's good advice.
And also, suck it up. Be a man.
Buttercup.
Be a man. You pulled a hamstring putting on sweatpants.
Yeah, it's time to go work out.
Listen.
Yeah.
I pulled a muscle in my ribs just yawning too fast. I should have stretched or something beforehand. I didn't do any of that.
Now listen, I'm pretty sure I've dislocated a shoulder once or twice from sneezing. So I get it.
I've thrown a crick in my neck from sneezing.
Wait till you get 40. Wait till you hit 40. Yeah. It's not as bad at 40.
Yeah,
you're not gonna make it. You're gonna burn out.
Hey, listen, I did the best I could to not make it that far.
They said that, hey, y'all survived y'all's decades of bad decisions, so let's ask for your advice. They're not going to be asking for my advice here in a few decades, because they're going to be at my memorial saying, "Ooh, Jax, hey, what would you have done here?
Lived hard.
He lived hard.
Left a good corpse.
He lived a good life."
Well, I'm going to tell you how bad it gets. I was going to turn the sprinkler on the roses before I came. So I went and turned the water on, and I backed up and caught my foot on the hose and almost fell over backwards in the mud. And I said, you can't even stand up when you get 70 sometimes. So I tell the guy, like you said, maybe go and take it easy. If you pulled a muscle putting on sweatpants, maybe do one set, lighter weight than your wife.
I did catch a cramp in my quad one day trying to tie my shoes. And I'm like, what the hell is it? What happened?
Man, I started buying Skechers. I got my slip-ins right now.
Now, see, he just did that, but he's going to call me in about 25 minutes after we get done and say, hey, you remember that part where I had my white pasty leg up in there? Take that part out.
No, I ain't going to take that out.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have any advice. I don't know. I'm with Jax. I think maybe just explain to her that, hey, you are a whole lot further along in this than I am. I want to build up to it, but I want to do so gently.
I like my advice.
I like Boomer's advice too. I don't remember what it was, but I liked his advice too.
If she puts on makeup and does her hair, go.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. If not, just be the one that's there to make her a shake when she gets back or whatever.
Yeah.
And tell her, "Oh, girl, you look good."
Smell her armpits.
Tell her those natural pheromones just get you going.
Dear Sandy and Boomer, I'm writing because you both sound like men who have spent a lot of time around pickup trucks, family arguments, and questionable decisions. So I trust your experience. My son recently got his first apartment, and against my better judgment, I agreed to help him move from his dorm. He told me he don't own much. Sandy, this boy apparently owns 3 couches, 6 guitars, and a gaming chair the size of a spaceship cockpit. The move took 9 hours. At one point, I was carrying a mini fridge down 3 flights of stairs when my son said, "Careful, Dad, that's where I keep my energy drinks."
They're in it.
Now, here's my issue. 2 days later, he texts me asking if I can help him move again because he, quote, doesn't like the lighting in his new apartment. Boomer, I'm old enough to remember when people picked apartments based on whether they would die there or not. How do I lovingly tell my son that if he moves again this year, he can carry his own refrigerator and emotional support beanbag chair? Signed, one pulled muscle away from retirement.
Just this is real simple.
No.
No. Daddy, will you help me move?
No.
No, son. You weren't smart
Because
enough.
he doesn't like the lighting?
Yeah, that's. Go buy some more bulbs.
You raised a pansy.
Go buy some more bulbs.
See,
Exactly.
now to his credit, my father, who is sitting right here, has never put his hands on me to the point where it would have been abuse. Was I reprimanded and corrected? Most definitely. Have I picked my own switch? Yes. Have I then had that twitch? That switch been told that one's not good enough, I'm going to get my own. Yes. However, what Sandy would have told me if I would have said, "Hey, can you help me move again? I don't like the lighting in here." He would have told me it'll be real hard to see the lighting with two black eyes.
When I knock you out.
So.
Yeah, I grew up Buddy Sanford's child. You know what timeouts were?
Yeah.
The time you spent out on the ground after you just said some stupid stuff like, I don't like the lighting in this apartment, Daddy, I need to move. That's what a timeout was.
Hey, Ted, one time he said something, I went, God. And before I knew it, I was peeing in my pants. He done jerked me up by my shirt.
I remember you telling that story.
I was 14, thought I was smart.
Oh yeah,
and he jerked me up, and he was inside of a Winnebago, and I was on the ground, and he said something, and I said, "Golly," or like, why?
What got into him or something?
Like, what's wrong with you, man? He jerked me up, and I'm telling you, next thing I knew, I was standing eyeball to eyeball with him, and he had a hold of my shirt, and he wasn't an abusive man at all. Never. In fact, he faked whipping me one time because Mama wanted me whipped. He says, "Come in here." He said, "I'm gonna hit this leather chair and you holler." So, but yeah, that one got me, brother.
Listen, if you've never had that from a parent,
scared the
I'm sorry,
snot
shame
out of
on
me.
you. Because I even had my mama one time did one of those. She was like, "All right, come here." She had a belt, and I just knew I was supposed to get my hide tanned, and she said, "Put your hands there on the bed," and I put them there on the foot of the bed. And then she went to whipping that mattress, and she's like, "You got to scream."
I've got a buddy who he was about 14, 15 years old, and we were talking about this actually not that long ago, and it was because we were talking about the last time we got a whooping. And he was about 14 or 15 years old, and he said that he had smarted off and said something to his mom, and she made him put his hands on the mattress, and she was whooping him, and he turned around and said, "It doesn't hurt that bad."
Oh no!
And about the time he said that, his stepdad
Daddy
walked
came in. Yeah.
His stepdad walked in, and his stepdad has always been just this huge behemoth of a guy. I mean, just large, lifts weights. I mean, very strong. And he says, "Do I need to take a crack at it?" And my buddy said he has never more quickly apologized to his mama and offered to do the dishes.
Sure.
Offered to do the dishes
for a week.
Yeah. So, tell you about the kids I raised.
Wait, which one are we talking about?
You.
One day, Casey we have some stuff in the sink, and Jax and Cam were still teenagers living at home, and their job was to wash dishes. And Casey put a Post-it note on there that said, "Hand wash me." Wake up the next morning, it's not washed. It has a note under there and says, "I don't like being touched. No one asked my permission to touch me."
The pot's talking to him.
Well, I know this serial killer's handwriting, okay? No one asked for permission to put their hands on me. And I'm like, whoo. Yep.
So have you been around your stepmother?
I hope you run into Casey before I do, because I'm an encourager.
I'll be like, she made me eat carpet one time.
She did. You know, he's 14, 15 years old. You know, he's coming into his body,
cocky.
Right? Oh, yeah, definitely cocky.
Me?
No.
Yeah. No.
And,
confident.
Yeah,
there you go.
Well, till then, and I don't know what he had said, but he came at her. They kind of half playing, but he came at her. Brother, that girl was in the military. She took him to the ground so fast. I was like, "Oh, what just happened?"
I thought
he got carpet burns on his nose.
I thought I heard somebody yell, "World Star!" I just knew I was going to wind up on Facebook with the meme saying, "My name's Jax. This is how I got here."
Now, One thing we don't do at my house is jump scares.
You don't like that?
No, and here's why. Because I will react before thinking.
Like punch something?
I don't want to hit one of my kids.
Yeah.
Not like that. I don't mind whipping my kids, but I don't want to punch one of them in the face or something, right? So I've had to tell them all at some point in their life, don't do that. Don't do that. Well, I'd been telling Casey, I think we were still just dating at the time. And I was like, I wouldn't do that, Casey. I said, Jax is my kid. I'm just telling you. He gets out of the shower. We'd been watching something.
Mama. We'd been watching Mama, the scary movie Mama.
The scary movie Mama, which, Sandy don't like scary movies. And so she's around the corner, and he comes walking through, and she jumps out at him, and he snatches her and rears back like this, and he's like, whoa, and he stops. And I mean, like that far from her face.
I could not have been any more than 2 inches away from her face before I was able to stop.
And he's like, ah! And she's like, go ahead, I deserve it. And she'll tell you this day, had he punched me in the face and broke my nose, I had that coming. I had it coming.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I've never been so close to hitting somebody and not hitting them ever. And I mean, seriously, I was about to. It was a traumatic experience for me. I almost hit my dad's girlfriend in the face, who's now my stepmom, who I love dearly. But
so my brother-in-law, Mike, God rest his soul, he and I did that to each other incessantly. We would hide in a closet for hours just when of course.
And you're scary anyway.
I am scary. I'm jumpy.
Yeah.
I'm not scary. I'm jumpy.
Yeah.
And he would, when we lived in Morgan City, my room was there was one down and two up, and I was the only one up, and so when they would come to visit, they would be in the other up. But I'd come in from school and I forget he was there, and he'd be around the corner and jump out at me at the top of the stairs. And I've done that before. I've just run into him before, or fall over backwards. And yeah, we would just do stuff all the time to
like
scare
one of those
each other.
passing out goats. Just
oh yeah.
I punched my own dad one time.
Jump scared?
He did. He jump scared me, and I punched him.
So until Mike died, I used to collect knives and Zippo lighters and just little trinkets and stuff. I don't know why. I don't know if I stole them. No, I just steal them. Just collect stuff like that. And I had, Mom and Dad had an old set of blonde-looking bedroom furniture. And I had a chest of drawers. Mother painted them all white. My bed, my chest of drawers, and the long one were all white. So, and I had all them things up in the top drawer of the chest of drawers. And so, I'm still while they're in college, I'm still in high school. So he came in, and I'm going upstairs. He's waiting to scare me. Well, I've come in the room, and he's got my drawer open looking at all my stuff, I said, what are you doing? He says, and it was the little cartoon character with the guns and the Yosemite Sam. It was a Zippo lighter with Yosemite Sam on it. Dad got it somewhere at a golf tournament or something. And Mike said, man, sell me this. He didn't say, can I have this? He said, sell me this. I said, all right, $5. And so, man, he handed me $5. He got him. I don't smoke. He does. He's got him a Zippo lighter, and he's all proud about it. And he said, man, I got this good lighter from Troy. He said, I only gave him $5 for it. And Dad says, $5? I said, man, I got that for nothing, and gave it to him. And so till the day he died, when he could still remember, because he had Alzheimer's at the end, but he was always dogging me. He said, yeah. And you sold me that lighter for $5. And so my whole life I had to, for 30 years later, I had to live down that I sold him
a free lighter.
A jump scare lighter story.
Yeah, well.
This guy, some people lead the most interesting lives. Mm-hmm. Mike had he went to play college ball at ULM, Northeast Louisiana. They were the Indians back then. Mm-hmm. And he played 4 years of college ball for Northeast and got his education there and had a degree in history. And he got out of college and started doing some. He went to work for some companies, oil company out of South Louisiana, Morgan City area, and then he just moved up real quick. And by the time they were in their middle to late 20s, he's working for Drillco and moving to the UAE.
Oh,
they done sent him to Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
So he does a stint several years in Dubai, and then they come back and he moves up with Drillco some more. Then he went to work for Boots and Coots.
Yeah, I remember Boots and Coots. Yeah.
So he goes to Hanover, Germany, with Boots and Coots, and stays there for several years, and then comes back. They're living in Conroe and Woodlands, and he's vice president international sales for, I think it was still Boots and Coots, but it may have been another company. He does that for 5 years, and when he's 50, he tells them that the stuff in the Middle East started getting kind of crazy. We're looking into the 80s now, and he said he wasn't going to travel abroad anymore. But he's vice president of international sales, and they let him work 5 more years.
Wow.
So I'm not saying he lived an enchanted life like I do, but he was able to parlay a history degree into worldwide travels, and had gone to like 50-something different countries in the oil industry, and lived abroad in Hanover, Germany. And he said that when they went to Dubai, have you seen pictures of Dubai now?
Yeah.
They've got inside ski slopes at Dubai.
Yeah.
They showed pictures of when he went, and you can see it on the internet. They'll show what Dubai looked like in the 70s and what it looks like now. He said when he went there, they played golf on the desert, and the greens were oiled to make the sand packed.
Wow.
And he says you carried around a little piece of AstroTurf, and you'd hit your ball, and wherever your ball went, you'd pick it up, put the AstroTurf down, and hit it again. He said
roll.
There was no roll and no irrigation, obviously. So, that was back in the day. Yeah.
Can you say you worked in the oil and gas industry if you've never worked for Brown and Root?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone at some point or another worked for Brown and Root.
Yeah. So did some presidents, or owned some of Brown and Root.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
Schlumberger.
Yeah. There's a place in South Louisiana between Morgan City and Thibodaux, and it was called, I almost said it and I forgot, but they built those offshore jackets that they sunk in the water. McDermott fabricators is what they were called. And you drive by there, and I'm telling you, some gargantuous platforms that they're building. I mean, laying down, they would be 30 or 40 feet high. And there would be, if you got there at 4:30 coming from Morgan City to Thibodaux, there was a steady line of people coming out and going both ways. And you got in a traffic jam on that little 2-lane highway going through the swamp back to Thibodaux. But that was the main place that they built offshore jackets for the oil industry in the Gulf. Yeah, that they a lot of them now are big rigs that they're just floating. They're stabilized, but they don't have those things all the way to the floor, the way to the ground floor anymore. But yeah, that was a wonderful time to be growing up in South Louisiana. There was a lot of stuff. In fact, all of the oil companies had base office, Conoco and Gulf and it was Esso or Enco then in Texas, Esso. They all had offices in Morgan City because Morgan City was one of the key places that they went out to the Gulf. So it was a great time in the 60s. Now, you can go through Morgan City now, and they built Highway 90. They started at the bridge, and it looks like Chicago with the bridge goes over the whole thing. The bridge goes over the whole city.
No exits.
And there's exits, but it's it's nothing. You don't have to even touch the ground to go through Morgan City anymore, and it's it's a sad looking little town now. When I went back for my 50th class reunion, it's just a sad looking little place. It's still a great little shrimping community and crabbing and a lot of, all the things that you expect. The sportsman's paradise in South Louisiana is still there, but it's nothing like it was, back in the 60s, from the 50s to the 70s.
That's, of course, growing up on the Texas Gulf Coast, I saw a lot of those same things. And it would be funny because there would be a startup company, for example, that would just come out of nowhere. And you know 4 or 5 people that, for me, their dads went to work for this new startup company.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, that company's building a high-rise in downtown Houston. And then by the end of the 80s, it's owned by someone in Saudi Arabia, and they close the building down, and they lay off everybody, and it's all shut down, you know. And Daddy worked for Cameron Iron Works for a while.
I remember you telling me that.
And, man, Cameron they were huge.
Big outfit.
They were huge.
They had a place in Morgan City,
and
Patterson.
They had them everywhere. And they were a company that was so big they had their own country club in Sealy, Texas.
Did they really?
Yeah, and so we got to go to the country club all the time, you know. Now, growing up in Aldine, going to Sealy was not easy because that's way out west, you know. It's past Katy. And but you could go out there and you know, like 3 or 4 different golf courses on this country club. Huge
Really?
pool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew Cameron was huge. Are they still in business, I wonder?
They are, but not nearly to that extent. But, you know, I mean, there was a company called Gator Hawk. And Gator Hawk was one of those that just overnight just pops up. And, you know, you knew 4 or 5 people that went to work for them, and next thing you know, they're buying big houses outside of the city.
What was that? I've seen that before.
Gator Hawk, they did something with oil field. I don't remember now.
I'm trying to remember what they did.
What all they did, but you know, that was
What's in Tannerite? What's in Tannerite?
Well, that's what we asked you to look up a while ago.
I thought he was just waiting on us.
Yeah.
Gator Hawk. I remember, you know, because I've seen.
How do you even spell that?
Tannerite, Tannerite.
Common spelling.
Yeah, just common spelling.
Yeah. Sharn?
Sharn.
SHARN? No, I'll throw an O in there.
Yeah, I think it's just like Tannerite.
Oh, binary explosion made from a combination of highly reactive ingredients.
What are the ingredients?
Yeah.
Powdered aluminum and ammonium nitrate.
Yeah, I can imagine that. It
Fertilizer and powdered aluminum.
Well,
aluminium.
We got access to that.
Little terrorist over here.
You know,
he's wanting to blow up another dryer.
Or a refrigerator or a washer. It don't matter. Just an appliance.
Man, have you seen the videos? They'd get those hogs down there they wouldn't put a pin up a trap. They'd just get them down there and shoot that tannerite. And man, there'd be bacon flying for days out there. I mean, and you know, there's people that's like, oh, those poor hogs. Poor hogs. You don't know what they do.
You don't know how many of them there are.
There's a reason why people hunt those things from helicopters.
Yeah.
You can't kill enough.
You can't kill them enough. No. Let me tell you what will never be on the endangered species list.
Yeah, wild hogs. I saw a video in fact, just this week of a sow, and I know she had 20 piglets with her. I didn't realize they could have that many.
17 is the average.
Oh, my Lord.
17 is the average. And they can breed every 6 months.
I know.
So they can have 2 litters a year.
Yeah.
And, you know, but you know what's ironic about pigs? You can take a domesticated pig, one that you got it as a piglet, you've raised it, blah, blah, blah. It breaks out of your pen.
Yeah, he becomes wild.
Within 4 months, they'll grow tusks. Their snouts change. Yes. Within 4 months, their whole physiology of their body changes.
They grow hair.
And, you know, to get that razorback look about them. I meant that as the pig, not as the university. Don't
Lord
get me
have
started
mercy.
on that.
Yeah.
Not here.
Remind me to tell you something when we go off the stream here in a minute.
Off the air, Jax.
Off the air.
We're going to...
I'm tired of you making fun of us.
Yeah, well, that's what you're supposed to do to older people.
You signed up for this. You had kids.
Yeah. No. He had sex. Kids just happened.
As many times as I've heard that my name should be pool table. Nah. He's gonna get his money's worth out of me.
Hey, I'll say this: I was speaking at a church one time, predominantly African American church, and I said, you know, it's a good thing we don't have to name our kids after the song we were listening to when they were conceived. I said I had 4 Al Greens, and one Marvin Gaye in my house. Bow chicka wow wow. Brown chicken brown cow.
Brown chicken brown cow.
Yeah. So, all right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We've got some more messages, some letters sent to us. We'll come back. We'll do that all right after this on Off the Back Porch.
The brand new deli is open at Davis Farms Country Market, featuring Boar's Head cheese and meats. Try the Turkey Bacon Ranch, the London Broil Roast Beef, the Club Sandwich, or a fresh and crispy BLT. Check out their Cranberry Pecan Chicken Salad, not to mention fresh hot gumbo, the soup of the day, and more. Davis Farms Country Market, 4523 Junction City Highway, or call 870-639-1323.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
32 years ago, a young Robert Rushing began his life of public service joining the El Dorado Fire Department. While saving lives during the day, Robert Rushing put himself through college and law school at night, eventually opening a law practice in 2010 to protect and serve the rights of people in South Arkansas. By the way, he was still working as a fireman at the time. And after 23 years of service, Robert Rushing answered the call again and was elected as city attorney. Today, Robert Rushing still has that desire to serve. Re-elect Robert Rushing as El Dorado City Attorney.
Rated the #1 course in Arkansas by Golf Week, Mystic Creek is truly a hidden gem, complemented by a modern clubhouse, complete with panoramic views. It also features a fully stocked pro shop and Mystic Grill serving contemporary American cuisine and Southern classics. Mystic Creek promises an unforgettable experience.
Experience, courage, common sense, all of these are traits we want in any elected position, but especially in the man we will pick as our next sheriff. Michael Fife hasn't just been in law enforcement for 30-plus years. He's the one who answers the call in the middle of the night, putting himself last and Union County first, looking folks in the eye, doing what's right, standing up for all of us. Vote for Michael Fife for Union County Sheriff.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer and sometimes Jax.
Sometimes Jax.
There we go.
That I like it.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll start doing that in the future. You know.
Yeah.
Next week, I think we have candidate for Sheriff Michael Fife is going to be here with us, and so we'll tell him, and sometimes Jax.
There we go. Okay, I thought you were about to say and sometimes Michael Fife, and I was like, no.
Sometimes Jax.
Although. This is your third time?
Yeah. Fourth. This is my fourth. This is my third time with Boomer.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Well, you and David Lee may be tied for the record then. Because I think David's been on 4 times.
I'm in good company then.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Boomer, we got some more letters to us. Sandy and Boomer. Good job trying to pretend y'all get along. I remember when y'all were on the radio, y'all would argue like one of you was trying to use a coupon that expired in the Clinton administration. Nancy and Brister.
Wow.
And I didn't even know where Brister was until recently. No, I know where it is now.
Yeah.
But between Emerson and Waldo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, dear Sandy and Boomer, Off the Back Porch sounds like a conversation that started at a gas station and somehow got sponsorships. Will from El Dorado. That's not far off, to be honest with you. It started in my front yard with grass clippings on his ankles. But Sandy and Boomer, I will never understand your generations. I graduated with your son, and I think Sandy has the energy of a man who still owns at least 3 extension cords he refuses to throw away. Tony, formerly of El Dorado, now Hot Springs. So.
Other son, maybe.
Could be. Yeah. So. 3 extension cords I refuse to throw away. Why would I throw away an extension cord?
I don't understand that.
We always need extension cords.
Sure.
Matter of fact, if I have the chance and the time, I make my own.
You can? You know how to do that?
Yeah, I do.
You go out to Amber Cable and do that?
I know for a fact exactly where one extension cord is. It's got like 17 tape spots on it.
Yeah.
That's at his house.
Got away with a weed eater. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dear Sandy and Boomer, my daughter and I were listening while on a road trip. She says, wow, Sandy tells stories with so many detours GPS gave up on them.
Sounds like me.
Lisa and Magnolia.
GPS gave up on.
Yeah. Dear Sandy and Boomer, I just love old guys. Sandy acts like he's technologically advanced because he knows how to reset the Wi-Fi router. Boomer still says things like, you just can't trust these new cars. He's talking about one built in 2009. Andrew in Junction City.
That's not fair.
But it is true.
So I was in Spring Hill this week, Louisiana. And I went down to Spring Hill. I knew where I was going. I was going to a veterinary clinic, take some dogs down there. And I've been there before, but I'll just put it in the GPS. So I said, oh, yeah, I remember this. I remember this. After it told me to go that way.
Yeah.
So when I left there, I just hit home. I said, well, I've just followed again. You turn your brain off that way. Well, I get up there to the stoplight and it says, turn right and go. And it made me go around the block. I said, I have not gone around this block 2 times. I said, so I punched it out so it would stop. And then I just went straight and why did it make me go around that block?
I don't know.
I said, it made me, I was supposed to go straight. I got to a light. It said, turn right. It says, turn right. I said, somebody over here at the Google Maps is messing with me.
Hey, y'all, watch this.
Watch this old dude. Anyway.
Oh, man, let's see. Sandy and Boomer, Off the Back Porch is what happens when a Facebook comment section gains an audience.
Wow.
Claire in Camden.
Claire.
Dear Sandy and Boomer, I swear it sounds like the two of you are just one small inconvenience away from opening a bait shop and barbecue stand. Ron in El Dorado. Ron, you know what?
That's a good idea.
Now that you mention it.
That's not a bad idea.
No, because he has said that if he ever opens a restaurant, that I, the former restaurant manager, would be helping him run it, and I do not want to do that. So no inconveniences, please.
And he just wants to barbecue.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
you got to do it every day.
That's it. I don't want to do it every day now.
It takes the fun out of it.
It would. That's the whole thing. It would. Now, I am looking forward to our barbecue that we're going to do over at Madhouse 101.
And I talked to Dean. Let's see, what day were we there? Friday night. We went there Friday night, and Dean says, I want to do that. And do a rib barbecue night for charity. I said we were going to, or you said perhaps we'd do that, and he said he's interested in doing that.
Yeah, I went and talked to him the other day, and we've got a date set, July 18th.
Oh, I'm gonna be out of town.
Where are you gonna be?
I don't know. I'm gonna be. I don't know. I'm here.
Hey, I'm used to you not showing up to stuff.
That's true. Or not getting invited.
50th birthday.
Or not getting invited.
Yeah, or you not inviting me to stuff?
70th birthday.
No, it was my 50th.
Oh, your
though.
50th. I didn't show
No,
up.
you were talking about y'all did. Y'all had that thing for Martha.
Yeah.
For Fru, and I was checking my phone. You said, no, I didn't invite you. And here's what he said. I dare any of you to go back and watch that podcast. Here's what Boomer says. No, I didn't invite you. I said, oh, you just didn't invite me. He's like, no. Okay. It was just a few of us. But we have this big group that always goes out together. But you just said there was just a few of you, but y'all got this big group that evidently this big group. Here's Sandy on the outside. The big group is here, but here's Sandy over here.
Well, it's just people my age. It's our age group. And you're 20 years younger than me.
Yeah. Well, not quite, but still
close.
Yeah. Close.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So you were around for the Dust Bowl?
Quite almost. Yeah. I didn't live in Oklahoma then, but
yes. Okay, let's see. Dear Sandy and Boomer, Boomer has told the same story so many times, even his story is tired of itself. Nicole from El Dorado. Well, Nicole.
Which story is it, Nicole?
It's the same too. We know, Nicole. We know. You just don't know how many times I've edited that story out. Because he told it just like last
3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so. Dear Sandy and Boomer, I get mad when people call y'all old. But I will say, Sandy gives off strong, keeping old phone chargers just in case energy.
Ooh, I got that.
There's a box.
And Boomer still doesn't believe anything good came after the cassette tape. Bobby and Rusty.
Oh, Bobby.
Well, CDs were good.
CDs were good.
Listen, if you had a cassette player in your vehicle and you did not have a pencil, you did not know what you were doing.
Yep.
You had to have a pencil.
Yep. Yep.
And, it's like those old days of radio. If you didn't have a Q-tip that long.
What did you use that for, to clean out
cart machines?
Yeah. Yep.
And because, reel to reels, you could just take an alcohol wipe and wipe the heads on there. But those cart machines, you had to get way back in there. Yeah.
See, that was before me.
And if you didn't pull all the carts carts, they look like an 8-track tape. And that's where all your commercials were. So then when they went to commercial break, they would just play that cart. But your job was, for the next shift coming in, was to get all their carts pulled.
For them and
queue them up.
Okay.
You had to queue them up for them.
And put yours up. Or if there were any different.
Yeah, if there were any different ones, you'd put yours up. And, if you didn't do it, man, they'd make your life hard.
That next shift.
Mm-hmm. So back in the day, you used to open like a recipe box, and there'd be a bunch of little cards in there. And you'd look up at the clock, and it would be on, blue. So you'd go to the blue section, you'd pull out the very next card, and that's the song you were supposed to play. And then you would shove it in the back. And then next time you would
Wait a minute, you had to load your own songs?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
You're playing records, brother.
Oh gosh. Those records?
Wind them back and
that's way before me.
And you came along, it was all computerized.
It was all computerized. Yeah.
But what would happen is if you didn't pull the carts for your guy, you come in that next shift, you couldn't find that little recipe box.
Oh.
Or if you did, it was all jumbled up.
Oh.
Nothing was color coordinated. They'd take them out and just throw them on the floor and pick them back up and shove them in there.
That's mean.
Good luck trying to figure out how your shift's supposed to sound. And then next thing you know, you got the general manager standing in front of the window like, what are you doing? You can't play 3 Hank Williams songs back to back, The box. And then he'd say, you didn't pull somebody's cards, did you? Yeah,
Oh, heavens. Yeah. That was a different era.
It was.
How old were you when you got into radio?
The first time I ever did anything or walked into the radio station, I was 16 years old. But when I got in full time, I was 21, about to be 22.
Well, I was once upon a time 21, 22 years old, and I am your son, and I can only imagine just dadgummit. This is the realization of this is my fault.
This is on me.
I am my own worst enemy.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm all the time saying that song by Lit, My Own Worst Enemy, would be if there was a movie about Jax Sanford's life, my own worst enemy is the opening track, it's the middle track, it's the end track. No.
Yeah, well, it happens. Dear Sandy and Boomer, Sandy talks like a guy who absolutely has opinions about things like thermostat settings. Boomer basically offers free advice for life situations. But I'm sorry, I just can't take advice from men who still squint at restaurant menus. Natalie and El Dorado.
Shut up, Natalie.
No one likes you, Natalie.
I got glasses.
Did you know earlier we were talking about how many people like Natalie? It was a short conversation because there was none. That's how many people.
We love you, Natalie.
I don't even remember that conversation.
Yeah. Dear Sandy and Boomer, y'all do realize that just saying the words back in my day does not count as research, right? Abner and Fordyce.
Man, I got it all up here. I can't remember what I want to say, but it's all stored.
Yeah.
I got it in the file.
Yeah.
Some of them are blue, and they're all mixed up.
You didn't pull somebody's cards. Oh, man. Well.
Hey, are you about to take a break?
No, you're good.
Okay. I read a statistic the other day, and, I was talking to Amanda, and she is at the spot in her life where she has a son that is a senior in high school and is about to wants to move off to go to college. They live in Minnesota. Originally, he wanted to come back and go U of A because that's where he grew up, Northwest Arkansas. And now he has a real close friend that moved from Northwest Arkansas to Minnesota and then is going to school somewhere in the Northwest, in Oregon or Portland or somewhere like that. And he's decided he wants to go up there. And I said, there you go. You about to have a child move a whole half of a country away from you. But here's the statistic that I read, and I told him, and now that I'm 70, you start getting nostalgic. It's just something about the age when you realize it ain't not to be morbid, but you have more days behind you than you do in front of you, and it's just a fact of life. And so you start thinking about things that are coming to an end. Okay, and I read a statistic about a child from the time they're born till the time they're 18, they will have spent more time in your house than they will the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, at one time, all my children lived somewhere else, and we would see the grandkids maybe once or twice a year, either at Christmas or Thanksgiving, and then maybe, you know, once in the spring or in the summer. And I said, you know, when a child, and I know I did it, when I got to be in college or in high school, Mama said, well, we're going to go to, and she'd say, Mama's house. We're going to go to Mama's house this week. Do you want to go? I said, no, man, I got lots to do. You know, once you're in high school, you don't want to go back to Grandma's house as much. And so we only have just those few days left, you know, few times left with kids. So, you know, that's the, and I was at the doctor's office the other day, and the lady that was doing the workup, I could tell where she was in life. I said, I'm old enough to ask a lady how old she is. She said, I'm 43. And I said, and I told her that statistic. And I said, do you have kids? She goes, yeah, I got an 18 and a 14. I said, and I told her that statistic. She goes, oh yeah. I said, man, value that time that you have with them. And here's some things that kids remember that you don't realize. They will remember something funny you did with them or fun you did with them, not what you gave them. I don't remember anything. Oh, well, I do remember some things, you know, that my parents gave me. But I remember the times when I looked over along the fence at the practice field in Morgan City when I was in high school, and Dad and several other dads are sitting out on the front of their vehicles just to watch practice. They'd come and sit there and watch practice. You know, or one of the first times when I worked in the oil field in Oklahoma, we were close to town on a rig, and I had one of the grandsons working with me, and here comes Ted and Hattie. They'd gone to Sonic and bought us a burger. You know, it was only going to be about a 4-hour job, but it was going through supper. Well, they wanted to come out and check on us and brought. So you remember those things that your parents did for you. So I tell parents, you know, I don't know if it's my mission or my calling or whatever. I just like to. I didn't listen to old people when I was young, and a lot of young people say, "Well, I got this figured out." I don't, and I was like that. I said, you know, a friend of mine we were hunting, and I was probably Jack's age or a little bit older, and he had heart problems. I said, "Mr. So and So," I said, "Are you watching what you're eating?" He goes, "Yep, sure am." He said, "How about you?" I went, "Oh, okay, touche." And I'm thinking, man, I ain't got to watch what I eat. Man, I'm 27. You know, I can eat razor blades, and so kids don't. But you still got to put it out there, you know, that there's, and here's the thing that I told, and it was Amanda that it happened to first. I said, there are some things in life that you're going to have to make decisions on, in this the big three. Where are you going to go to college, or what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to
what's your career?
For vocation?
Yeah.
Who are you going to marry, and where are you going to live? And I said, you have to make those decisions at a time in your life when you're least prepared to do it.
Least capable of doing it. Yeah.
So, you know, and so we make mistakes, but then, you know, but your mistake becomes your reality. And so, you know, you're trying to give somebody, and we were talking about it off the air a little earlier. Sandy did a thing on the air at graduation time and about talking to seniors about, you know, trying to shock them back into reality that it's, you know, you've done this so far, but it's not that special. Yeah, it's not that special.
Yeah, like I say, Boomer had asked me. He said, "Do you remember that speech?" I said, "Do I remember? I still have it."
Yeah,
because
I think we need to give that.
I'm waiting for the opportunity to give that speech, and that would be, you know, basically it's like you're not that special.
Yeah,
you know, yeah. Everyone here is tonight to celebrate you because you're graduating high school. Congratulations, you did something you were legally required to do for 83% of your life anyway, and you've done it. But you cannot leave this place today and change the world. You've got to change your world first. And that's what it all boils down to. You know, you're talking about your kids and how they move away and all. It was no secret that my oldest, Micah, she and I were tight.
Yeah.
We had been tight since she was a little bitty. And when she got up to a senior in high school and was getting ready to go to the University of Arkansas, I was freaking out inside. I'm like, how am I going to do this? You know, it's my little buddy, you know, my little partner, my little road warrior, you know, and how am I going to do this? But, you know, here's the thing. God has this amazing gift He gives us. He turns your kids into assholes.
So you're sorry when they come back.
And you can't wait for them to leave.
And when they come back in college, you're going, God, I'm glad when this weekend's over.
Glad when they go back. No.
Yeah.
She wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
She was not. But there were things that I was like,
well, they're sprouting wings, and they're
get out there and find out.
Yeah,
you know. Mm-hmm. Now with this one, I mourned the day we dropped him off at OBU.
Yeah.
Because man, he was my help. I mean, it was like it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It did not matter what it was. If
he's a can-do type guy.
Yeah. If I said, man, I need some help doing this, he was on it.
Yeah.
You know. And Cam was the same way. That when Cam got ready to go to college, it was like, man, Cam was my sidekick inside the house. So like if I'm cooking dinner and I had small babies at that time, and Cam would just get over there and he would just keep them off of me and keep them entertained and while I could do what I was needing to do. And
you cook because your wife works all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was just one of those things, but Micah's never going to move back from Tulsa.
Yeah.
I don't expect she will.
Yeah.
Like I said, she graduates law school 2 days from now, and that's why we're going to Tulsa. And I love that for her, and I'm so freaking proud. Mm-hmm. I nearly choked up.
Yeah. Well, she's
for a guy who wasn't allowed to go to college, for my kids to be able to go and accomplish the things that they're accomplishing, that means everything to me.
Sure it does.
And so...
she's a freaking lawyer.
Yeah, she graduated with a freaking law degree. But, she'll never move back.
Yeah.
So the only thing is last night while Cam and I are watching Steel Magnolias, right? I'm watching the dads walking Julia Roberts down the aisle.
Yeah.
And I said, I hope to get to do that one day.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, oh, you will? I said, you don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know these things yet.
And, I mean... I would have, all joking aside, I'm 54. I expected to have at least one grandchild by now. I have 0.
Yeah.
With 0 prospects of having any anytime soon.
Yeah, nobody's married.
Yeah. And so, I'm not putting this off on you. I'm being honest here. I expected to have a grandchild by now. I expected to have a little kid that I could spoil rotten.
Yeah, yeah.
That I don't have to live with.
Yeah, that you can send home.
Yeah, I can send them home.
Give them candy and sugar and send them home.
Yeah. Baby, you want chocolate syrup in your milk? Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is how Granddaddy makes it. Watch.
Yeah.
Give me that other bottle. But Micah has said for years that my grandparent name is going to be Grand Monster.
Grand Monster.
I said, you bring your children to my house, let them call me Grand Monster one time and see what happens.
See, I will whip you.
I said, they will see their mama get her butt whipped is what's going to happen.
He's gotten soft in his old age. Those little kids, all I'm saying is I've seen those little kids do stuff that
you could no more get by with.
That Jackson Cam would have got toe up from the flow up foe.
That's because I wasn't as good a dad back then. I sucked at it.
Yeah.
I was still trying to learn.
Yeah. And that's something that I told Amanda not too long ago. And Amanda and I are kind of like you and Mike are. That I said, Amanda, when did you realize in your timeline of being a parent that your parents didn't know what they were doing? When she says, oh my gosh, Dad. She says, I have realized that. I said, all of us just are winging it when you're very little.
That's it. Especially when they're small like that, and you're a young parent.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're trying to figure it out.
When I was 20-something, there were a couple of things that happened that I had absolutely no idea how to handle.
What am I supposed to do?
What am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to say to this child to make it okay or not? Should I make this not okay or okay? And so I really had to.
Should I get down on the floor beside him and say, I know you have really big feelings right now?
seek some counsel on that. But look, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now here's the other thing that when I was having these musings the other day, a lot of that's about kids. Mm-hmm. But then I started thinking about, when you're that age right there and you're trying to make your way in life, that there are opportunities that come along that people have made great fortunes within a narrow window of opportunity. And there have been opportunities that people have let pass that they didn't see or thought, didn't seek the right direction, or just misread, or didn't take it to the Lord enough, or whatever, but they missed that. And I've talked to people over my lifetime, says, man, if I'd have done this at that time, said, if you ever have a chance to do this at that, when you're this, do it. And so great fortunes are usually made in a short window of opportunity to where you're able to get into it. It may take time, over time, to make that fortune, or to have the success in life that you're meant to have. In 13, we still talk about. They told me I couldn't say it anymore because for a long time that's been.
Hold on, what were we about to say?
No, it's just me. That was that's 13 years ago now.
Yeah.
And for several years, anytime that somebody would give me a hard time about something, I'd say, well, I almost died, right? And so I'm trying to get back in their pity. So finally they said, you can't use that anymar. You can't say that.
Yeah, you can. You still can.
So, but I did almost die once, and you sat there
and
watched me almost die. But I was talking in that ICU for 2 weeks. I said, God, when I woke up, everybody thought I was going to die, and I did. And I said, so I said, you must have something for me to do. And I said, I just don't know what it is. And I waited, and then after I went home, it was 6 months that I didn't get out of the house because I had that open wound for 6 months. And I sit there and I just talk to God, and I said, God, you're just not showing me what I'm supposed to do. What am I supposed to be doing? And so time marches on, and I'm just living life, and I'm doing what I think I need to do, or what. And here's the thing that I deducted from that is that if God doesn't tell you what to do, keep doing the last thing He told you to do. There's a lot of times there's no big great revelation that you're going to get from the Lord, or from something inside you telling you. You just need to keep doing what God tells you to do. And you were talking about some people a while ago that are always looking for the next thing. There's people in life that are looking for a word from God. They're always, especially in the evangelicals, there's this, man, I'm just looking for a word from God. And they're looking for a word of knowledge from a preacher, or they're going to go hear this guy, 'cause he has the gift of healings, or, they're always searching for something. 90% of what God has in store for your life is already written down. Mm-hmm. It's in the playbook. It's already there. All you have to do is seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be open. And so God just told me, said, Troy, said, I don't have any great. You're not going to be a new Samaritan's Purse guy or whatever. You're not going to do something big. I just need you to keep doing the things you're doing. I need you to be faithful in giving. I need you to be faithful to your wife. I need you to give to the church. I need you to serve me. I need you to tell others about. And I'm like the guy in the Bible that says, no matter what I know I'm supposed to do, I keep doing the opposite thing. And Paul said that. I said, man, I just keep goofing up. And God says, man, like the guy said, how many times are we supposed to forgive somebody? 7 times? And he says, and Jesus told him 7 times 7. And that's the number of man. 777 is the number of man. And you're supposed to forgive somebody indefinitely. And so those attributes that God wants you to have is all written down for us. And so Sandy calls my life enchanted. I call my life just a normal, middle of the road life. I've never done anything huge. I've had great success in music and things that I've wanted to do musically. I've had some good success at that. I was never had a record deal or anything, but I was able to sing with some groups that were pretty nice, and I've been able to serve in church, and they still want me every Sunday that I get up there and Mitch says, Troy, lead this song. I said, dude, I'm 70 years old. They don't want to hear me no more. He said, I think you need to lead this song. And so I'm still able to play and sing at 70. Some people can't even hardly talk at 70. And so I'm not saying that you should go for middle of the road. seek the best that God wants for you. But sometimes God's not going to make you.
Yeah,
like Sandy was saying to the seniors, God's not going to make you this big grandiose thing. God needs normal people to do normal things and do them abnormally, but through His Spirit and His power.
You know, it's funny because I don't have a lot of fears, and that for whatever reason, I used to have tons of them.
Yeah,
thousands of fears. And one of the ones I used to have is what if I had my 15 minutes and I missed it?
Yeah, me too.
And I look back and I have had my 15 minutes. I have, and I didn't miss it.
You didn't miss it.
I was in the middle of it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
During that time, look, for my chosen career path, I was in broadcasting for a long time. I was on the cover of magazine. I testified before Congress. I was considered an expert at a number of things. I've won huge national awards. In the words of Donald Trump, huge. Some might even say no award's better,
Yeah.
But I've won huge national awards with production.
Frankly,
for production and commercials that I've made. And I remember one time I had at church. I had walked down front to our youth pastor. He was our youth pastor at the time, and I told him, I said, "Man, I'm just discouraged. And I just need some prayer." So he prayed for me. Nothing spectacular happened. The walls didn't shake, Nobody fell out and hit the floor or anything like that. I went back to my seat, and I felt the Lord speak to me and say, "Why are you discouraged?" And I said, "Well, because I feel like I really work hard for this person, and they don't appreciate it." And he said, "Oh, so that's who you work for." And I was like, okay, Lord, I get it. And he said, "No, I'm not done." And he started telling me things. And y'all can cut me off and call me crazy if you want to, but he said, "Do I need to remind you of every door I had to open to get you here?" And I was like, "No," because if I told that story here, it'd take way too long, first of all. But secondly, there were about 12 things that had to happen for me to move to El Dorado, Arkansas. And all 12 of them happened.
I remember this, yeah.
And but on top of that, I said, "Okay, Lord, let's talk about that for a minute. Why am I here?" And I'm going to tell you what the Lord told me. And again, y'all can call me crazy, cuckoo, whatever. Use this against me in a political campaign later. The Lord said, "I've given you a gift, an ability. You're funny. You can be funny." And he reminds me of a joke I had told earlier that week on the radio. You remember telling that joke? I do. And he said, there was a man listening that was the 1-year anniversary of his wife's death. She died from cancer. He's blamed me. And he has had a guard up around his life since that time. It was the first time in 1 year that he smiled. And he let down his guard just long enough for the Holy Spirit to drop a seed in. That's why you're here. He said, "You remember this commercial campaign?" He reminded me of a commercial campaign. I said, "Yeah, I remember. I won national awards for that." He said, "That campaign kept that company open because there's a guy in the back who gives money to a missionary you'll never meet, who's going to places you've never heard of and preaching the gospel. That's why you're here." And so sometimes it is just that ordinary day-to-day stuff. We don't realize the tentacles that those things have. And
exactly.
Somewhere a few years ago, I don't know, I can't go back to a specific moment, but somewhere a few years ago, I quit worrying about anything.
Yeah.
I quit having fears. I just quit, because it all comes down to this. They tried to trick Jesus. Said, "Well, which one of the commandments is greatest?"
Yeah.
And so
they didn't want to know.
They didn't want to know. But here's what he said.
They wanted to catch them.
Love God, love others. If you will do those two things, you'll fulfill all the commandments.
Yeah.
And I found out that if I will run everything through that filter, is this loving God or loving others? And if it is, that's the thing to do. If it's not, that's not the thing to do. And I was probably at a point in my life where I was too young, where it's a joke, but I know a person, a pastor it happened to. He was having a board meeting with his deacons, and he said, "But gentlemen, the Bible says," "I don't care what the Bible says."
Yeah.
I know a pastor that happened to. And he's like, "Well, then there's nothing else for us to talk about." I was probably at a point in my life, earlier in life, where I was like, "Well, I don't care if it's loving God or loving others. This is what I'm going to do." and I'll just deal with the consequences, whatever they are.
Ask for forgiveness rather than permission.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, I will challenge anyone out there, never, ever, 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 and I'm all seriousness about this, never pray this. Never pray and say, God, let me see the ugly other people see in me.
Ooh, yeah.
Because he'll do it.
He'll show you.
And let me just tell you, you don't want to see the ugly other people see in you.
Yeah.
You talk about humbling.
Yeah.
You begin to wonder why you're even allowed to walk the earth.
Mm-hmm.
I made that mistake of making that prayer one time. Lord, let me see the ugly other people see in me.
Search my heart is what you were doing then.
Yeah. And that's a brave prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Search my heart and show me.
Yeah. Don't give me patience. Don't pray that
patience cometh by tribulation.
Yeah.
There's a recipe in the Bible.
Yeah.
Now, we can go from quoting the Bible to quoting Cat Williams. Cat Williams said, you want to know how something was made by God? When you have the recipe for it and you still can't make it.
That's true.
He said, we know what water is. H2O.
You can't make it.
You still can't make it.
You can't make that.
That was made by God.
Yeah.
So there are things that...
But Cat, I love Cat. And he's dastardly dirty sometimes.
Yes.
But...
There's a lot of truth.
There's a lot of truth in what he says.
That little Jehovah's Witness boy grew up with some truth. I'm just telling you.
But the long and short of what you said and what I've talked about is that in stages of life, when you had that the devil be damned attitude, well, I'm just do what I want to do. Well, that's a certain point in your life, and I'm at that certain point in life when you start waxing nostalgic about everything, and you're thinking about, you're trying to make an inventory of what you've done and what you should have done. And God just told me, said, listen, ease up, bro. Just chillax a little bit.
Like my 6-year-old time, bruh. Last night he said to me, bruh, what the? I was like, what the what?
What the what, bro?
He don't know. That's just, bro, what the?
Yeah, he thinks that's the whole statement.
Yeah.
But, there's stages in life, and, we got 3 of them represented here, and they're all important, and they're all can be controlled with a spirit-controlled temperament, in that, you may be a nut, but you're screwed on right, to the right bolt or whatever.
That's right.
And that's all I'm saying.
I was thinking about when you're talking about you get to a certain age, you start growing nostalgic. I mean, and again, not trying to be morbid, but this grandchild may move away to Portland. At 70 years old, there's a real number. Mm-hmm. There's a real number of how many times you're going to see him for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
For the rest of his.
Mm-hmm.
Is that number 5?
It wouldn't be 5.
Is it 4? Is it 3?
Yeah, it may be 2 or 1.
So this is how many more times you're going to see this child.
Yeah, much less have any influence over it.
Yeah. And so it makes sure then that the next time you see him that it's important.
It's important.
That you, and I guess somewhere deep inside, Breland understood that, my grandfather, because as I grew older, he would start to share things with me. Mm-hmm. Now, Breland was a man of very few words.
Mm-hmm, was he?
So when he said something, you paid attention.
He carried weight, yeah.
Well, you met him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did carry weight. Mm-hmm. And so when, I think he went to his grave disappointed because he said, I just don't understand you voting for these Republicans. He told me
he was a Southern Democrat.
Yes.
Yeah.
He told me, he said, I voted for one Republican in my life, and I hope the Lord can forgive me for it.
Did he vote for Reagan?
He voted for Nixon over Kennedy in 1960 because I just couldn't vote for a Catholic.
That was a lot of.
That was a real thing in the South.
That was a lot of Southern Democrats.
It's so funny because I'm I listen to books. I don't read, and I have a lot of windshield time.
You can read.
I can read. Yeah. I just choose not to.
When you say you don't read,
I just choose not to.
That's kind of like talking to Razorbacks. They may want money for that.
Yeah. So I've been listening to this book. So there's an author named Brad Helson, writes really good, like political, legal thrillers, and I've been a real fan of his. The biggest thing is every book he writes, he uses Scott Brick as the narrator or the voice, and Scott Brick's he is the ultimate when it comes to audiobook narration. And Brad Smeltzer is his name. And Well, he recently came out with a book called The First Conspiracy, and it's basically the untold story of there was a plot to kill George Washington. And he found all this historical data, him and another guy, and they wrote this book together. Really good. Well, they came out to another one after that called The Nazi Conspiracy, and it was about a conspiracy to kill FDR, Stalin, and Churchill when the three of them met in Tehran. And they have all the historical data that the Nazis had dropped 37 paratroopers off around the city, and those paratroopers, all they needed was one to get through, and just the things that happened that prevented those paratroopers from getting through, and almost divine intervention, you know. And so now I'm listening to one called the JFK conspiracy, and this was a conspiracy to kill him prior to him taking the oath of office, between his election and taking the oath of office in his inauguration, and how it didn't come, that conspiracy didn't come to fruition. And but in that book it talks about there was a very, very real bias about Catholics
of Catholicism, yeah.
And that it was the problem was it was the Ku Klux Klan was a big part behind it. Well, that was the Democratic Party,
yeah.
So it was his own party, and how there was this infighting within the Democratic Party about nominating a Catholic, and that LBJ was kind of stoking those fires, and we know that, especially now. LBJ but he signed the Civil Rights Act. LBJ was one of the most racist people I have ever.
He just wanted to keep them on the plantations.
That's exactly. I mean, if you don't have to take my word for it. Go back and just Google the phone conversations. They have the audio. It's now been declassified and released. The phone audio of LBJ convincing senators to sign on to the Civil Rights Act. The most horrific, racist, debasing things I have ever heard in my life was the things he said. But that whole, they couldn't have a Catholic. And, they painted Nixon out back during the campaign. Nixon was old, and he was old school. Nixon was only 4 years older than JFK.
Really?
Yeah. Because JFK, I think, was 43. Yeah. And Nixon was 47.
Yeah.
So, but they painted him out. This isn't your father's Oldsmobile. This isn't your father's presidency. Yeah. That just amazing. I do give them a hard time about, hey, I don't know how many Christmases I have, but I'd like to have some with a grandchild. But none of us know how many we have. No. I mean, I've lost friends who are much younger than I am now that never got that moment.
Well, I told Martha the other day, I said, man, I was 57 when that happened. I said, looking back, I thought I was older then, but looking at it now, I was young.
You were 57 when you got your first grandchild?
No, I was 57 when I almost died.
When you almost died, yeah. Well, you did. And again, I don't say this to say way to go, Sandy. I'm just telling you, I sat in that man's room for 3 days.
Yeah.
Because
when I was out,
I wanted to be sure that he was getting the absolute best care possible. And there was a time where I looked at Amanda and I said, look, we've got about an hour. If something doesn't change in the next hour, I said, I've already talked to Ken Kelly. I said, we're going to get his ass out of here, and we're taking him somewhere else. I don't know if we're going to Baptist, if we're going to UAMS. I don't know where we're going, but we're leaving here in about 60 minutes. And then that doctor from overseas come in, and
Methuselah.
Man.
Lazarus.
Let me tell you something.
They call him Lazarus.
Because he was raising dead.
He was raising people from the dead.
That guy come in, and he went to chewing butts out. He's like, hey, the chart says this. Why hasn't this happened? And the chart says this. Why hasn't this happened? Hey, nurse so-and-so, you signed off on this. When did you do that? Well, I signed that. I don't know. Yeah, we don't know because you don't have a time on here. And then, boy, he starts snatching people up, and he's like, get me this. Get me a liter of this, and hook this into his IV and that. And, man, he went from having like one IV and one tube coming out to like 12 IVs up here. Looked like they were filling up a NASCAR.
Like, some of them were white, and some of them were, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And finally, they put not an autoclave.
Whatever it is,
where they don't have to. They just you're hooked up already. They don't have to keep giving.
And man, because when he sat up in the middle of the bed and started calling everybody to dinner, they say that was my grandfather Breland. Mm-hmm. When he sat up in the bed and was like, and started telling me, he said, "Hey, get us some paper and just tear off pieces of it and leave it behind us so we can find our way back." And I was like, "Where are we going?" He said, "I know where this creek is down here." And he said, "We're going to go swimming."
He was a little boy.
He was a little boy again, and I knew then. I was like, it won't be long.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Yep.
So when you sat up in the bed and started having memories from childhood, he sat up and he's like, hey, come on now, Mama said everybody come to the table. Come on, Mama said get to the table.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know I did that.
You did. And Amanda went to squalling, man. She's like, he's seeing his mama. And I was like, I know. And man, that's when I was like, okay, something's got to give here. Something's got to change. And thank God it did. You know, I mean, it was touch and go there.
Well, you know, and that's what I was getting at. It not everybody's a hero. Not everybody has a big life. You know, God calls us, and I don't want to use the word mediocrity because, you know, we're all, like the guy said.
You're fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah, the guy said at the coat factory says, hey, I'm a child of God. I'm a child of the King. And
I forgot that. I have to tell that story.
So, you know, even though you're not going to do great things in your life, God calls you, you know, somebody has to be the masses. You know what I mean? You can be the best you can be and still be wonderful.
How many great people can take you back to somebody that they may not even remember their name. Mm-hmm. Love him or hate him. Next to Billy Graham, Jimmy Swaggart probably converted again, next to Billy Graham. And Jimmy Swaggart tells a story about a woman preacher that came to his church when he was a little bitty kid. And he can tell you everything she preached. He can't tell you her name, but he can tell you everything she preached and just how much of an impact it made on. Be that person. Mm-hmm. You know, Buddy Sanford was never great. I mean, he was great at some sports and he did some great things, but he never, if he had his 15 minutes, I missed it, you know. But how much did he impact my life? Breland, my grandfather. Man, here's a guy that he got his first pair of shoes when he got drafted into the Navy, you know, in World War II. And gets out and it breaks my heart to think there never was a time he wasn't raising kids or grandkids the rest of his life. Mm-hmm. When him and Betty Lou got married after knowing each other for 3 days, they got married. They were married 58 years till death did them part. And but there never was a time where they lived without kids or grandkids living in their house. They never had a moment to themselves. And that breaks my heart. But that was his calling.
Yeah,
that's what he couldn't have imagined life any other way.
Yeah.
Now, I was little. I couldn't wait for him because, you know, my daddy was young, so my pawpaw was young. And he would, I'd see him pull in, because we lived 2 houses down. I'd see him pull in, I'd take off. I didn't ask Mama. I didn't ask anybody. I'd just take off a little barefoot, running across the yard, run across the neighbor's yard, and then run over to Pawpaw's house about the time he was getting out and unlocking the door. And he'd sometimes get in the door and act like he's going to shut it on me so I couldn't get in. And we'd be inside, and he'd get out a big tablespoon of peanut butter and flop it on a saucer. He'd put a little syrup, that cane syrup on there, you know. And he'd put that on there, and he'd mix it up, and he'd start putting on saltines, and he'd hand me one, and he'd eat one. And then he'd sit there and say, "Did you hear that?" No. He'd say, Sandy, is your mama. You need to come home.
He's sitting your little butt back home.
And I was like, Pawpaw, that was you.
Mama.
This isn't your Pawpaw. This is your mama.
Go home. Come home.
You know, but you know, I guess when he died, I remember saying to my dad, I said, I just hope he was proud of me. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Oh God, son," you know, and he told me thousands of things I didn't know, but he said nothing ever made him prouder than when he'd pull up at that Coca-Cola plant when you were in high school, and he had 3 grandsons working there. And he said nothing made him prouder than to pull up there at that Coke plant.
That y'all all had jobs.
See them boys in there working. And that's what was expected of us, was to get in there and work.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've said
when you raised up poor on a dirt road,
you better believe
you better get out and help out.
You know, I said it to Jax's bosses when he was a teenager. I said it to Cam's bosses. I was like, is he working while he's here? Because if he's not, I can fix that. You just call me. I can come up here and fix that. And that's probably the same thing Breland used to tell the plant manager at the Coke plant. Are them boys working? Because if not, I can be back up here, you know. So he never had that worry. But he said, that, you know, nothing made him prouder than seeing y'all working and seeing y'all doing your thing. And, you know, again, when I took Jax to OBU, man, it hurt me. It hurt my heart because, again, I'd grown so not only just accustomed to him, but I needed him all the time. And I remember one time he came home one weekend and he helped me do something, and then I found out like 2 weeks later he chewed his brother and his sister out. He was like, why
didn't y'all do that?
Why is it that I live out of town and I'm coming home to help Dad do the stuff when y'all live here? I don't remember what it was, but
them straight.
It was mowing the yard.
It was
mowing the yard, and I did. I chewed Cam up one side and down the other because I was like, there's no reason that he's mowing the yard by himself whenever I'm not here.
And I used to love. I had just a push mower that you gave me, and I mow it. I love doing it. And Casey was like, you need to get this rider mower. She found me this riding mower. And I was like, Casey, our yard's not big enough for a ride mower. She said, you don't have to live with you for the next 3 days after you mow. She said, Sandy, you are 51 years old at the time. You are 51. You need something else because you can't keep mowing the yard. She said, you're grouchy. Everything in you hurts and pops. You end up down at the doctor. You end up having to take something because you're hurting, because you're pushing. Because I do have a big yard. That's what I fell in love with about that house was that big backyard. And she's like, you get out there and you don't stop. You don't take breaks, which I had finally learned to start doing. I would get a little bit of the yard done. I'd stop and take a break, and then finish it up. She said, then you weed eat, and then you edge, and then you're clipping this, and you're carrying stuff out to the curb. And she said, and after 6 or 7 hours of being out there doing it, she said, then for 3 days, you're laid up. You don't have to live with you. And so I was like, yes, ma'am. Okay, point well taken. And
but you got a great deal on a rider.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
But you never gave that push more back to me.
I didn't, and I'm not going to.
I know. Because I got a push more now that I don't use. You want it too?
Might as well.
You let them little kids start pushing. This one's light.
Got to learn them.
Yeah, learn them.
So that was like the Munchkin one time. She said something about, I like the way that mower looks. It looks like, and I said, yeah, baby, all you got to do, I told her, I said, all you got to do is just, we hold onto it and you just push, you see these things right? You just push them with your thumbs. You just push them with your thumbs and push it forward, and it's just going to go forward. And she's like, really? I said, yeah, it's easy. You ought to try it. She jumped over there on it. And so she's back and forth and mowing, and I'm like snapping pictures, and I'm sending them to her dad. And I was like, don't let her kid you. She can't mow a yard. Because she was about to go with him for the summer. And I was like,
can mow a yard.
I said, she can mow. She's out there walking by that mower.
With a Honda self-propel.
Yeah, with a Honda push mowers.
No, not a push. Self-propel.
Well, yeah.
You got to push it a little bit.
But, the tires on the back, those plastic tires finally got smooth. And so you'd have to push every now and then. Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't cranked that thing in a while. I don't know what it's up to nowadays.
Yeah, I've got a, after the Lord told me to give you that one for some reason. I said, God, are you sure? I said, this is my lawnmower. Well, he kept coming over, and I got to feeling sorry for him because lawnmowers are expensive, and so I went and bought it, and I was just wanting something new. I went and bought me a new one. And he said, well, give that Honda to Sandy. And I did.
Hey, it did a lot of service.
That's good. Boy. I mean, we put it to work, believe me.
Good.
Non-stop phone calls, registered mail, repossessions, or threats of lawsuits from creditors, and it seems like no one is willing to let you hit pause and just catch your breath. You need the help of Robert Rushing and the Rushing Law Firm. Bankruptcy is not the end. It could be a chance for a fresh start. The Rushing Law Firm goes to work for you, letting you hit that pause button and start over. Call the Rushing Law Firm today at 870-875-2940 or stop by the office at 725 Northwest Avenue in El Dorado. The Rushing Law Firm.
Serving South Arkansas for 25 years, and all the while expanding and growing throughout the state, ProMed Ambulance is proving their motto of world-class care and hometown values. For example, their new mobile integrated healthcare communication center. This state-of-the-art facility allows communication specialists to work directly with local 911 call centers to ensure the closest medical team is always dispatched to any emergency. World-class care and hometown values. For more information and career opportunities, go to ProMedAmbulance.com. When it comes to your family's financial future, peace of mind matters. At Harrison Financial Management, they are right here to help you plan, grow, and protect what matters most. Whether you're planning for retirement, investing wisely, or securing your family's future, they will guide you every step of the way. Harrison Financial Management. Your future, their commitment.
Everybody loves a parade, and Hilarious Pizza throws parades all week long. Bring the family in for your favorites, or explore the variety that Hilarious Pizza offers. Come join us at Hilarious Pizza for the greatest parade ever.
When it comes to protecting your home or business, trust the name that's been serving South Arkansas for 3 generations, Cross Roofing and Sheet Metal. From residential roofs to large commercial projects, the experienced team at Cross delivers quality you can see and reliability you can count on. Cross Roofing and Sheet Metal, built on trust, proven by results. Call Cross Roofing today. Put a solid future over your head.
You know, you mentioned a while ago the guy at the coat store. So this did not happen to me. This was the story that I was told. Gene Fields, who was the owner of the first radio station I ever worked at, he was telling me, he's like...
Was it a Burlington coat factory?
Yeah. He was like, man, I got to get me a coat. He said, I don't know what I've done to my coat. I can't find my coat. And we were expecting cold temperatures, you know, like in the 30s or something.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, that's cold.
That's cold. It's wet.
And he's like, I got to get me a coat. So one day he said, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to run up to Burlington in Shreveport, and I'm going to get me a coat. I said, all right. So the next day, I just happened to think, hey, did you get your coat? And he said, I did, but let me tell you what happened. And I was like, okay. So he goes in, he said, I found me a coat. Man, it's perfect. It's everything I wanted. It was the color I wanted. It fit right, had pockets in the right place. I put it on. Man, it's good. He said, I'm reeling around, and he said, hold on a minute. He's feeling better. He takes the coat off, looks, and it's got these snaps. It's supposed to have a hood.
Mm-hmm. The hood's nowhere to be found.
But the hood's not connected to it. So he's looking around, and this young African-American man who worked there walks up and says, can I help you with something? He said, yeah, I want this jacket, but it's supposed to have a hood. Yeah, it's supposed to have a hood. And he said, let's find the hood. So they're looking around, and they come over to the speaker, and they said, DeAndre, would you please come to the front? And he looked up, he said, now you know they can see me on this camera trying to help you find this hood. I'm not going to the front. So they go back to look front. DeAndre Williams, will you please come to the front? He looked up at that camera and said, you can see me helping this man. I am not coming to the front. He said, let's find that hood. So they're still looking. They're just looking for another jacket just like that one. They'll take the hood off of it and put it on this one if they have to. Will the associate named DeAndre Williams, who is right now holding a blue coat, would you please set the blue coat down and come to the front? And Gene looks at him and says, man, if you need to go to the front, I can keep looking. He said, oh, y'all must not know. I'm a child of the king. You can't talk to me like that.
I forgot how that went down, but I knew the line.
I'm a child of the king. You can't talk to me like that.
You can't talk to me like that. I'm kin to royalty.
You know, I had people ask me. I had a guy ask me it last night. I stopped in at the store that shall not be named, and he was like, "Hey, how are you?" I said, "Man, blessed and highly favored. I'm child of a king. My father owns cattle on 1,000 hills." And he's like, oh, okay, go ahead. That's been one of my classic lines for 20-something years, you know. I'm blessed and highly favored because I am. Mm-hmm. I am blessed and highly favored. And now, my blessing may not be a blessing to you. It may not look like what blessings look like to you, but to me they are, you know. Mm-hmm. And if you only knew, where I came from. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I am where I am because I've been where I've been.
Yeah.
How you gonna know where I'm going? And I'm going where I'm going.
How you gonna know where I'm at? You ain't been where I've been. You understand where I'm coming from?
You picking up what I'm laying down?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay, we've waxed philosophical long enough. Don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We went deep. I did.
Well, I think we all did.
You jumped in,
but it's okay. Jax, thank you.
As always, it was an honor, and you know, I'll be looking for a change to the logo on the.
Not gonna happen.
Now, see, we were getting on the amends here.
Well, we may change what we say, but we're not going to change the logo.
No, because you got to pay for all that. and Johnny Dean.
See, now you done forgot his name.
I'm sorry, Johnny.
I tried to help you out.
I'm sorry.
See, Johnny, now listen, if you include the and sometimes Jax,
Johnny's not listening.
I won't.
He's not listening to this.
I'll come in every time, and thank you so much, Johnny Dean, for including that.
You'd have to cut a whole new.
You know, I did tell him. I said, "Hey, I'm going to have to get you to cut us a new one." And he was like, "Okay, send it to me." And then about a week goes by. He said, "Did you ever send it?" I said, "No, I didn't," because I was going to get him to cut us a new one because we have different sponsors than just the 6 that we have right there on that original intro. And I said, no, because we have, and I don't know if I've announced this on here or not, but we have secured our first brick and mortar location. And so the location of our podcast will be changing within the next few weeks. And we won't be doing them here anymore.
Am I going to have a sofa to sit on, or an easy chair?
I hope so.
Or a recliner?
Yeah.
We're gonna work on that. We're gonna have comfy furniture.
That's my thing. I want comfortable furniture. I want something that we can sit back and relax.
My neck hurts right now. I'm old.
Hey,
leaning over.
You, and tell me if I'm crazy, but I would also
you're crazy, but
I would also like, I'd like for you to pick a guitar up every now and then and play something. What do you mean? Oh,
man, I'm not very good at the guitar. I can
you better than I am.
Well, that's not saying much.
It's not. I was hoping that's how you would answer.
Your fingers. You can't even fit the frets. You got them big chunky fingers. Well, and I've got sausages for fingers too. And but
you can pull that bar across. I can't.
Okay.
I can't do that.
I'm gonna tell you what. After I'm having carpal tunnel surgery at the 1st of June, 3rd of June, and after that heals up, I'll be able to play the guitar again.
3rd of June.
3rd of June.
So.
Oh no.
That's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday. Yeah,
So you're gonna miss the podcast that day?
Well, I mean, unless it's early in the morning. Early
Off
in
the
the
back
morning.
Porch with sometimes Jax.
Sometimes Jax. Yeah, that was the first time they could get me in. I thought it was a Thursday. I think it's a Thursday.
Mm-hmm. The third is
well, it must
a
be a
Wednesday.
fourth then.
The 4th is Thursday.
Okay, I think it's the 4th.
Because that's the day Chuck Barrett's going to be here.
Oh, sure. That was the first time because they operate on Thursdays.
Okay, so you're going to miss Chuck.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
They said, I talked to the other guy and he said, man, it's simple. He said, now they put you under, he said, but it just,
Yeah, because they don't want you looking over there at it.
Yeah.
And they got it all butterfly open, look like a butterfly pork chop.
It's just a little incision right here, is all they said.
Yeah, a little incision, but do you see what they do with them little incisions?
Don't tell me all that.
Have you ever seen a cesarean?
Ignorance is bliss.
Let me tell you something.
I'm not having a cesarean. Don't start talking about cutting 4 layers open.
I told him the other day, because we had said something, and I was talking about the first mistake I made was being born, and he was like, and you didn't really have a choice in that. I was like, no, they cut me out.
Oh, you come out C-section?
Yeah, he was C-section. All 3 of the 1.0s.
Wasn't no way I was coming out other than a C-section.
You had a big head?
He was the smallest of the 1.0s, and he was 9'4".
Wow. Y'all threw some healthy children.
Micah was 10'1".
Was she really?
Mm-hmm.
And she's not a very big person at all.
Mm-mm. And then Cam,
Now Cam is a large lad.
My ex's OB and we both agreed that they misweighed him, because when she pulled him out, I was like, Michelle looked at me and said, okay. I said, he's fine. I said, that baby's big, Michelle. And she said, how big? I said, he's bigger than Micah. And Micah was 10'1". And then they weighed him. They said he was 9'14". And I looked at the OB and she looked at me and we both shook our heads like, That boy was nearly 11 pounds. I'm just telling you. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing,
had teeth and a beard.
Yeah, and 5 o'clock shadow.
Jethro.
5 o'clock shadow. A baby's supposed to lose between 10 and 15, 20% of their body weight that first week. Yeah. So tell me why he was 10'4".
That week.
Yeah. After losing 10 to 15% of his body weight. Yeah. Why was that baby 10'4"?
Yes, seriously.
So they misweighed him. That's why.
Don't be talking about C-sections when all I'm doing is a little corporal.
They're just going to do a C-section on your wrist.
A little corporal tunnel.
Yeah. I'm just telling you.
All right. Well, I may not be there, but I'm going to do my best.
So, seeing them C-sections was bad enough. But then the 2.0s come along.
Hey, can we quit telling them stories?
I got to see them born the other way.
Oh, yeah, they were nice.
No, there's nothing nice about that. My wife is a freaking rock star. You hear me?
Well, I mean, it's like putting a bowling ball out of a water hose.
That woman's tough. She didn't cuss me out or anything. And she had every right to. I'd have just taken it. She didn't. She barely grunted. She was sitting there like doing her nursing CEUs. In labor with a laptop on her lap.
Well, this is the only time I got to knock it out, so I need
That's what she said.
I know that's what she said.
And they had that fetal monitor on, says, here comes another one. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
But
all right.
But His Royal Highness So after
Why you keep talking about stuff that hurts when all I'm going to do is just
it doesn't pertain to you. See, Boomer, not everything is about you.
You hadn't heard.
Supposed to be.
You hadn't heard. You hadn't heard, have you?
So I hadn't seen a whole lot of them births the normal way, the natural way,
natural births.
So after His Royal Highness came out, I was looking at her and said, I thought babies came out face down. She's like, they do. I was like,
this one didn't?
And she's like, wait a minute. Are you that's what happened. Because she told me at one point, she said, this kid's trying to kill me. She said, something's not right. This kid's trying to kill me. And then they got him out.
Mm-hmm.
And but he came out face up. And evidently they're not supposed to do that.
No.
Because
they're not supposed to come ass out either.
No. Well, fortunately, we didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But evidently, when they come out face up, his head cocked back, and he was just caught.
He gets caught, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, wait, hold on a second. So about then, her nurse come walking in, and she said, did my baby come out face up? She's like, yeah, right there at the last second, he churned, and
just the last second.
Yeah. Ain't no churning at the last second.
At the last second. Not when their head's in the birth canal.
Not when you in an alley. You can't do a U-turn in an alley.
I've never heard it called that.
Well, I mean, it's the only thing I could figure is just,
Yeah.
Look,
it's like some of them streets in Italy.
Yeah, you ain't U-turning.
Even with a Peugeot.
No. You better hope you don't sneeze too hard to one side or the other. Hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Off the Back Porch. Woo. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate our listeners, our viewers, and also we appreciate our sponsors. And again, don't forget our sponsors, All About Flowers and Smackover Motors, for coming on board and being a big part of what we're doing. And it's only going to grow from here. Like I said, we've got our own location that we're going to be opening in just a few weeks. Super excited about that. And we're going to be sharing that with Meisenheimer Media. They're going to be located there as well. And I'm stoked.
This could be good.
Over the moon.
It'll be great.
So I can get a lot of this editing equipment and stuff, get it out of my house.
Out of your house.
And get it out of my baby nook.
Yeah.
Not that I want another baby.
Yeah, I got you. Ixnay on the AB bay. Ixnay on the AB bay.
I want a grandbaby is what I want.
Yeah. Well,
when I know that Sandy Sanford's done having kids, I'll start considering having some of my own.
Hey, listen, I thought I was done. I thought I was. I thought I was done. There's been several times I thought I was done.
Another one.
No. Not there.
I don't want that. So that's going to wrap it up for us. Hey, thank you. Have a great weekend. God bless.
With a history of being the voices you trust, this is Off the Back Porch.